Good morning, it is Glenn Clark Radio. I guess that would make me Glenn Clark, and he would be Griffin Bass. Thank you to everyone who came out for the Tyus Bowser Show last night. We're going to take a listen to segment number 1 a little bit later on this morning with special guest Calais Campbell. We had an outrageous crowd at Mother's North in Timonium. Massive sea of humanity. These guys stuck around, I'm not kidding, for 2 hours last night in order to make sure that everybody got a chance to come say hello and get a picture and an autograph. I mean, it was unbelievable. Really unbelievable. There were multiple times where I was having the awkward feelings like, you're going to have to say to somebody, I'm sorry. It's just not these guys. It's just incredible. Looking forward to you hearing that, as we will get you segment number 1 coming up a little bit later on this hour. And if you missed out, I bet you feel quite stupid. But you don't always have to miss out. 2 weeks from now, we're headed down to another Mother's, and a part of town where nobody normally does shows, but that was the goal of this show, is to bring Tyus Bowser shows to places that normally don't get them. Tuesday, November 29th, we will be at Mother's Peninsula Grill in Arnold, down in Anne Arundel County. I don't know the last time there was a show like this in Anne Arundel County. I guess we did one last year. All right, never mind. I take that back. But other than us, I don't know the last time there was a show in Anne Arundel County. So come join us at Mother's Peninsula Grill Tuesday, November 29th, the next Tyus Bowser Show, brought to you by a partnership of Pressbox and Grade 8's memorabilia, brought to you by Maryland Vascular Specialists, the all-new Ginsu Kamado Grill. Also coming up this morning, I put out a warning on Twitter. We are double dipping this week. Ravens coming out of the bye. We had a little bit more time. And we are continuing our 10th anniversary celebration of the Ravens winning Super Bowl 47. And, of course, we caught up with Vontae Leach yesterday. Today, we're going to catch up with Jacoby Jones. Now, Jacoby Jones is a very important part of the Ravens' run to the Super Bowl 47 title. And I've had a number of conversations with Jacoby Jones over the years. I've never had this conversation with Jacoby Jones. It is uproariously funny. And Jacoby is, of course, very capable of being funny. I think everybody knows that. It is also extraordinarily not safe for work. There is an awful lot of language in this. So I decided to leave it unedited. I am hoping that you all will understand that if you're maybe listening to the show a little bit later on with your kids, then when we get late in the second hour of the program, it will be time to say to the kids, hey, there's some SpongeBob on the television. Maybe you watch that instead. Very not safe for work, but again, uproariously funny. I mean, absurdly funny. Jacoby Jones. Also this morning, Tim O'Donohue. He is, I didn't see this coming. I call, of course, Patriot League soccer matches at Loyola. Tim O'Donohue is the head soccer coach at Navy, and they're in the NCAA tournament. They won the Patriot League tournament, and they are getting ready to play Georgetown tomorrow, so we're going to catch up with him as they get ready to play in the NCAA tournament tomorrow. We will get you all of that today on the program. All right, today's show is also brought to you by PressBoxOnline.com/offers. I am to understand that the SWARC meeting today, everyone is getting approved. And so when I say we are like moments away, I mean we're moments away. It's not going to happen today. It doesn't happen immediately. There's still a process between the lottery and the operators to make everything happen. But it's coming like ASAP. Online sports betting is here and will almost certainly be ready to go in time for Thanksgiving football. Now, PressBox is doing everything we can to put together a landing page for you to take advantage of the best possible offers that you can get from the area operators to do your mobile sports betting. So we have, of course, a great partnership with FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. But FanDuel's not the only one. We are working with as many operators as we can to try to help you. Because in the immediacy of sports betting going live, mobile sports betting going live, a lot of these companies are throwing everything they possibly can at you. They are throwing at you every offer that you can get. And that's cool. Like, it's great for you. But we don't want you to miss out on anything. So right now, go to PressBoxOnline.com/offers, and you can get $300 in pre-registration credit plus other incentives. That's PressBoxOnline.com/offers. Right now, $300 in pre-registration bonus credits. Go right now, PressBoxOnline.com/offers. Surprised by the Manager of the Year announcement. Not that Brandon Hyde didn't win. Surprised that Terry Francona did. They weren't that good. Like, are we going to talk about that at some point? Like, they were in a very bad division and kind of won by default. Why did Terry Francona win Manager of the Year? What am I missing? I don't have again, I'm not worked up that Brandon Hyde didn't win it because I told you I didn't think he was going to win it. But it's because I thought Scott Servais would win it. Because, again, the Mariners had the longest playoff drought in all of American pro sports.
And then Hyde beat out Servais. Like,
why? What did Terry Francona do? What am I missing here? What was so special about what Terry Francona did this season as manager?
Because he's older? Is he? Yeah.
It comes off more that he's just popular. Like, everybody's always like, it's Tito, right? Like, hey, what a likable guy. It comes off way more like I'm so confused by Terry Francona being Manager of the Year. What did they finish with? How many wins did they finish with? Like 89?
Yeah, in the 80s.
Not that many more than the Orioles. And I'm not trying to say that everybody thought the Indians were going to be very good, but we definitely thought they were going to be much better than the Indians. I'm sorry. It's the Guardians now. I apologize. We definitely thought they were going to be much better than we thought the Orioles would be. What the hell?
They had 92. They were 92 and 70.
Okay. I mean, that was a little bit better than I thought they were. I thought they were even more mid than that. 92 wins is nothing to sneeze at. That's a good number. But, like, is there any way for you to figure out what the Vegas prediction was for their win-loss total? I get it. Everybody thought Chicago was going to win the AL Central this year. We all thought Minnesota and Chicago were the teams to beat in the AL Central. So I do understand that Cleveland was kind of an afterthought within the division. But we all kind of saw how it played out. It's not like they had to win some grueling battle to the end of the season to dramatically win the division. The other teams just didn't get the job done. And they kind of defaulted into being the team to beat in the division. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being too disrespectful to Terry Francona. I'm sure he did a lovely job. But, man, like, that was kind of a shocker for me. Like, I just didn't see it. Scott Servais made all the sense in the world. Like, all the sense in the world. I completely get Scott Servais. What they did, monumental. And even if you could say you thought the Mariners were on their way and, you know, Julio Rodriguez is a game changer, whatever it is that you think, I could see the argument. Scott Servais, he had to deal with that. Makes all the sense. Makes all the sense. You didn't happen to find?
No, I wasn't able to find anything.
Yeah, it's fine. Look, man, I'm not worked up. I need that. I know it sounds like I am. I understand that, but it's not one. Whether Brandon Hyde won Manager of the Year doesn't change whatever you're. If you are someone that believes Brandon Hyde is a remarkable manager, it doesn't change because he didn't win Manager of the Year. If you're someone who has questions and doubts about Brandon Hyde, and that's sort of the awkward part about this conversation, right, is that there are a number of Orioles fans that still kind of scratch their heads, that didn't love necessarily the way he put lineups together, that don't know if he's really a difference maker as a manager, that aren't sure how much credit he should get for the Orioles turnaround, and aren't convinced that he's necessarily the manager that leads the Orioles to the promised land. And if you're one of those people, you weren't going to change your mind just because he got an award. Like, it just wasn't going to work that way. I don't think. I mean, I can't imagine. It'd be really weird if somebody was like, well, now that he got manager of the year, I take everything back. And I'm somewhere in between those things. We've talked about Brandon Hyde a lot. I think he deserves credit. I absolutely think he deserves credit. Am I confident that he is the guy that will ultimately give the Orioles a chance to win a World Series? No, I'm not confident. It doesn't mean that he can't be, and it doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve the opportunity to keep going. I absolutely believe that he has earned the opportunity to continue in this role and continue to show growth. But we've been having some awkward conversations. We've been having a lot of year-end conversations here at Press Box. We do some big sort of our best of issue every December. And one of the things I keep finding myself saying is, what really did we know it was a special season for the Orioles, but what really did they accomplish? And it's an awkward kind of feeling because I don't want it to seem like I'm taking something away from them, but the best thing that Brandon Hyde's ever done is have a kind of mediocre baseball team that we didn't think was going to be good enough to be mediocre. And you got to be careful in how far you go in celebrating or declaratively saying that means that he's definitely the guy. All this sounds it sounds like I'm being very negative towards Brandon Hyde. Like, as I'm hearing it, it sounds like I'm and I don't mean it to be that way. That's not what I'm intending from this conversation. I like Brandon Hyde. I really do. I think there is more for him to prove. I think there is something to be said for now this year he's going to face expectations. Obviously, something he didn't face last year. What happens as a manager when you deal with the burden of expectations? We kind of had some expectations in September of this year, and it didn't go so well. And I'm not blaming him for that either. But what happens going into next year when you're not just judged by, we think you're going to suck? When the judgment is now, we think you should win. And I don't know. How could we know? It's like when we talk about the Ravens with, can they beat the best teams in the AFC in the postseason? No, there's no way to know. But it's interesting to me. And I file it away because I do think it's relevant. I do think it matters in how we have the conversation about him. I'm disappointed. I guess that's fair. I think I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that if it wasn't going to be Scott Servais, that Brandon Hyde, because it would have been neat. I'm definitely not surprised he didn't win. I'm just confused by who did. I thought Scott Servais was, to me, the slam dunk answer. Objectively, I thought he was the slam dunk answer.
Yeah, I agree. I think all the points you're bringing up, all the criticism, I guess, of Brandon Hyde that you have, I think is all warranted as well.
I don't even know that I'm criticizing Brandon Hyde necessarily. It's just a question to me. It's just I don't know. I can't say. It's the same thing I'd say if you asked me about Mike Elias. Is Mike Elias a good general manager? I don't know. And I'm not taking something away from him. I say this every time. Anyone could have drafted Adley Rutschman. He was the number one player in the draft. You had the number one pick. That ain't hard. It's not difficult to walk in and say, we'll take that guy. The bigger questions are, how do the next group of guys pan out? When you decided to go with Heston Kjerstad, and it was criticized, I get it. There was some unfortunate circumstances. But if Heston Kjerstad, who I believe was named something in the Arizona Fall League, he got some sort of honor in the. I don't remember what it was. I don't know if it was MVP or.
It was like hitter of the.
Okay.
Was it hitter of the month or
double
season?
Check on it. Double check on it, please. Make sure that we're saying that correctly. Does Heston Kjerstad pan out to be the guy that was worth that pick? do we end up looking back on it and saying, dude, nailed that one?
Yeah, it was the MVP, Arizona Fall League MVP.
Arizona Fall League MVP. Good thing. I mean, I don't know if we look back at the history of Arizona Fall League MVPs. I don't know if we'll see that there's, like 3 out of 10 are rock stars and the other 7 are guys. I have no idea. Believe it or not, I couldn't name one other Arizona Fall League MVP ever in the history of time. I believe Michael Jordan played in the Arizona Fall League once upon a time.
Chris Bryant won it in 2013.
Okay, he turned out, but
and then Greg Bird in 2014.
I don't know if that's one that we are going to go back and say proof that this means something. You have any other winners?
Let's see.
It's random that you just came up with.
Ronald Acuna in 2017. Those are just the first 2 names I saw. The Gleyber Torres won it.
Okay, so
Adam Engel in 2015.
Not so much.
Chris McGinnis in 2012.
Don't know who that is.
He was on the Rangers at the time.
If you say so.
The year before that was Nolan Arenado.
Okay, so mixed bag.
Yeah.
I think it's like 60-40 though, right? Like 60% really good, 40% meh, I'll take those odds, I guess. I like that Heston Kjerstad. I mean, if he's going to go, I'd rather him be MVP than stink, right? Like, I think that you're better off that way. But those are the things that you judge Mike Elias by. When you ask me the question, is Mike Elias a good general manager? Maybe. There are definitely, obviously, Felix Bautista looks pretty good. There are definitely things that you look at and say, here is an argument for why Mike Elias might be a really good general manager. But there's still a ways to go. The Jordan Lyles acquisition proved to be a good one. But what are you going to do this offseason? They've done enough to earn, I don't even want to say the benefit of the doubt. There are people that are doing like the "In Elias We Trust" bit. I have no idea where that comes from. I can't fathom a blind faith in Mike Elias. There's not enough there. Now, if what you're saying is, I think he's earned the benefit of the doubt. I think he's done more good than bad. Okay. I'll listen to that. I have no idea yet if Mike Elias can build a winner. I mean, a real winner, not a team that finished with more wins than losses. I mean, like a legitimate winner, particularly in the AL East. And I'm just trying to be fair about that. That's not I'm not saying anything controversial. He's not done it. And it's sort of the way that I feel about Brandon Hyde. They've earned the opportunity to continue forward. But am I confident? No. I'm hopeful. I have reason for optimism. But confident? Where would that come from? What would I be basing my confidence in? I'm not the guy that, like our buddy Paul Valley gets on him all the time about the lineups in particular. I'm not that guy. Like I don't dislike Brandon Hyde in any way. I just don't know. And next year to me will be the first actual opportunity. Now somebody might say, well, what if they don't actually spend all this money in the offseason? And is it fair to it's a conversation we'll have then. But the expectations now are to win and to compete. Legitimately compete. Not be in it, not flirt, not dance, not try to surprise. Like now it's you got to take another step forward. And we get to start judging them based on that. And if there's a stretch early in the season where it doesn't look good, there might be some pitchforks out. We might go from guy that we thought was deserving of manager of the year to suddenly having pitchforks out. That's the reality of it's an awkward situation where we think we like them, but we're just not sure yet whether they're ready to take the next step. All right, I spent more time than I needed to, I think, on that topic of Brandon Hyde not winning manager of the year. That was the story. Brandon Hyde didn't win manager of the year. It turned into a 20-minute conversation to start the show. Maryland basketball improved to 3-0 last night. Of course, they're still not playing anybody. They beat Binghamton. It was interesting after the game. So I didn't get to watch the game, obviously. I mean, I looked over a couple times. By the way, what a thriller Michigan State and Kentucky ended up
Yeah,
being.
that was incredible.
Damn. Oh, and Duke lost. That's just a real shame. What a pity. It's not the same. I remember having this conversation in the spring. Like, will it be the same? Will hating Duke feel the same way with Mike Krzyzewski gone? The answer is it doesn't feel the same, but there's no doubt. Like, when you look up and you see the letters DUKE on your television, it still burns. Like, I am still rooting like hell for them. Like, it's not exactly the same without it being Krzyzewski, but John Shire was maybe the perfect selection for the like, it's, if it had been Tommy Amaker, I don't know that I would have been able to just hate him the same way. I still would have rooted against Duke, but John Shire is just the perfect embodiment of everything we don't like about Duke basketball. So it worked. So just a real shame for them. Just a real pity that they lost to Kansas last night. Yeah, Michigan State, I guess we got our answer. You know, they damn near beat Gonzaga. They followed up by beating Kentucky. They're not going to wait till March this year. They're going to go ahead and decide to be good now, which means they might be scary good come March because they always tend to work out that way. But, you know, there's nothing I don't know what we could have possibly learned from the Maryland game. I thought afterwards there was a lot made. Kevin Willard was demonstrably angry late in the game, which I think to a lot of people on the surface level didn't really make a lot of sense because you were comfortably leading. You had pulled your regulars. Yes, you want everybody to play really well, but, like, come on, man. You know, you're up big. Why are you all that concerned about it? Patrick Stevens, of course our friend, was at the game last night, tweeted out, interesting thought from Kevin Willard tonight while expressing some annoyance about how Maryland finished the last two games, referencing both the net and KenPom. Net factors in offensive-defense efficiency for full games. KenPom does too and is listed on NCAA team sheets. So when you get to Selection Sunday, that net ranking, that KenPom ranking, reflects the totality of how you played in each game. And so those final moments of a throwaway game where you won by a comfortable margin against Binghamton that nobody cares about, like nobody in that room is going to be like, well, we got to look back at that Maryland-Binghamton game. That was a if we're going to decide Maryland's fate, we need to consider Maryland-Binghamton. Nobody's going to talk about that. But those raw numbers, your efficiency numbers, are going to reflect every minute of every game. And if you watched Maryland end up on bad beats from the Western Carolina game because they were favored by 20.5 and they were up by like 33 with a few minutes left, and they ended up winning by 20. So they were featured in bad beats this week. Also, the one that you referenced was featured in bad beats this week. I can't remember the Lindenwood.
Yeah,
and the three at the buzzer, or the long three. By the way, what you didn't know? Apparently, the guy took 5 steps.
Oh, it did.
Literally 5 steps.
I watched it too. I didn't care.
Before pulling the trigger on the shot. 5 freaking steps. And they just sort of said, what the hell?
I saw what the refs saw. Ball and hoop.
The refs, what are you going to do? Going to call traveling when the team's down by 1 billion points? The refs, we'd like to hope the refs are not concerned about it. And then, they're doing even better with bad beats now. It is the best segment in sports TV because they're finding somebody in the audience or in the crowd
who must have had
definitely knows and is affected by it. And they're getting their reactions in those moments to what's going on. They're doing a great job with that segment. The segment's always been good, but it's gotten even better, bad beats. So I bring this up, right? I bring this up because Kevin Willard I kind of like this. I kind of like that he's thinking about that. I still think it's the right thing for him to put his reserves into these games. I don't think that the answer is leave your regulars out there because I think you need to get game experience for your reserves. I think those guys might be called upon at some point. I think it's important for those guys to get into games, but it's interesting that he's saying, look, we can't just have this. We can't have it be that when we go deeper onto the bench, that we end up getting outscored 13-0. Because it's not just about coaching. It's not just about demanding the best from your players. It's about it could actually impact rankings for us that matter if we're on the bubble for the NCAA tournament, which still seems like a stretch for this Maryland team. Get back to me after this weekend, right? Like, get back to me after they play a couple of games against legitimate opponents, and maybe. By the way, that Louisville game next week now looks like what a dud that appears to be. Louisville is now 0-3. They just lost to Appalachian State last night.
At home.
And I get it. Appalachian State, of course, has a history of shocking upsets. I understand that, but just in football typically, not in basketball. I believe that none of them were good. Like, the first three opponents they played were all kind of meandering, correct? Louisville?
I don't think so.
I don't think they played. I don't think there was like a big dog in there. I want to say they were all three lesser opponents. But get back to me after this weekend, and then I might have a better feel. What?
Bellarmine, Wright State.
It's Bellarmine.
Bellarmine.
Yeah,
Bellarmine,
yeah.
and then App State.
Wright State and App State. Yeah, not exactly a murderer's row of early season competition for Louisville.
You got number 9 Arkansas.
Okay, that's a real opponent.
Yeah.
Of course, this college basketball season has just been weird enough that like maybe they go beat Arkansas. But get back to me, and then we'll talk about whether or not I believe they could end up finding their way onto the bubble before the end of the season. But yeah, man, like it. I kind of appreciated that response from Kevin Willard. I kind of like the fact that he's thinking big. Again, in a world where we can't learn anything from them playing Binghamton, in a world where the only thing that we could learn something about is if they were lose one of these games, and thankfully they haven't done that. They've won these games. It was interesting to me. I thought that was the most interesting thing that came out of last night's game. Although, again, admittedly, I wasn't able to watch much of the game, other than in the corner of my eye during commercial breaks in the Tyus Bowser Show. Speaking of which, segment number 1 of the Tyus Bowser Show is coming up next. If you missed it on Monday, Stan the Fan Charles and Ross Grimsley caught up with Dan Duquette. And coming up a little bit later on today, I believe. Let me double-check that because Stan's schedule changes a lot during the course of the week. Oftentimes where I think something's going on and then I realize I'm wrong about it. But the point is, his next show is with Thursday, tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Tomorrow, Gary Stein and Stan the Fan will sit down with John Martin from the Maryland Lottery. Obviously, we just talked about it. We are only days away from implementation of online sports betting in the state of Maryland. So that will be a very important conversation they will have tomorrow. As always, Stan's show is available Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline, PressBoxOnline.com/video. Tyus Bowser, Calais Campbell, segment number 1, coming up next, Glenn Clark Radio.
And welcome to the Tyus Bowser Show.
No. We were supposed to take a commercial break.
Oh, my fault.
When I said coming up next,
1057.
that means we take a commercial break, then we do the Tyus Bowser Show.
My apologies.
That's the way it works.
That's on me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Hi. We're going to work out all these kinks before it gets to the air, I promise. Glenn Clark Radio. Experience the best in Kamado Grilling, a complete outdoor cooking appliance. The Ginsu Kamado Grill allows anyone to sear, grill, bake, and smoke all types of food. Designed for efficiency and function, the Ginsu Kamado Grill upholds the enduring legacy of the iconic Ginsu brand. The Ginsu Kamado Grill is perfect to cook all year round, is great for parties, and ideal for tailgating with your friends. Reserve your Ginsu Kamado Grill today at ginsugrills.com and get $100 off on your pre-order when you use the promo code TAILGATE. That's ginsugrills.com. Reserve yours today.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, New Maryland basketball coach Kevin Willard sits down with Stan Charles and Glenn Clark to discuss the situation he inherited in College Park and how he plans to get the program turned around. Also, inside, we introduce you to men's and women's college basketball players from all of the teams in the area. And Bo Smoka profiles Ravens receiver Devin Duvernay. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Another Orioles season is in the books, and the Bat-Around was there every step of the way as the Birds posted their first winning season in 6 years. And after promoting 2 #1 overall prospects in Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson, Mike Elias has said it's liftoff from here. Hi, I'm Paul Valley, and along with my co-host Zach Goodman, we'll be here every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon all off-season, discussing every signing, trade, and waiver claim as we navigate the cold winter months that lead to spring training. You can watch us at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline and facebook.com/PressBoxSports, or listen live at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. And if you miss a show, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. So tune into the Bat-Around with Paul Valley and Zach Goodman every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon right here at PressBox Sports.
Stan the Fan here, welcoming back one of my favorite sponsors, sponsors the Costas Inn. And everybody around Baltimore knows the Costas Inn is a great place to go and grab crabs, steaks, salads, soups, whatever's on your mind to eat in person. But did you know that the Costas Inn has upped their game? They are now one of the premier takeout places in Baltimore. Give them a call now to order your food, 410-477-1975. That's the Costas Inn over 4100 North Point Boulevard.
The Baltimore County Police Department is hiring. Entry-level officers start at close to $59,000 a year with a $10,000 bonus. Some restrictions apply. Plus a great retirement plan, medical, dental, and vision insurance, advancement to specialized units, tuition reimbursement, 15 sick days earned per calendar year, and even further incentives for military members and veterans. If you have a passion for service and want a career for life, visit joinbaltimorecountypd.com or call 410-887-5542. You must be a United States citizen, possess a valid driver's license, and have a high school diploma or GED equivalent. The Baltimore County Police Department is an equal opportunity employer.
If you can't listen or watch live, you can subscribe to the show via Spotify, Amazon, or Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star review while you're there. Or, if lying isn't your thing, we'll take a 3.5-star review too.
All right, so Griffin, in a second, I'm going to say it's time for us to listen to segment number 1 of the Tyus Bowser Show. Please do not play the next commercial break when I do that, okay? Please, we're going to do the show then.
I'll try to remember.
And not the commercial. Thank you. I appreciate that, pal. Hey, if you're looking for a simple holiday meal, try Chick-fil-A catering. From Chick-fil-A nuggets to mac and cheese. Enjoy a variety of tray options sized perfectly for your get-together. Order through the Chick-fil-A app and bring smiles to your family gathering. Availability and order requirements vary. See restaurant for details. From last night, you'll hear the entire thing on 105.7 The Fan on Friday night. Here's segment number 1 of the Tyus Bowser Show with special guest Calais Campbell.
And welcome to the Tyus Bowser Show with Pressbox and 105.7 The Fan. We are live from Mother's North Grill in Timonium. I am glad. Oh.
Got a little round of applause, man.
They like me now. They ain't waiting for you. Glenn and Rita with you, and yes, the host of our program. He is Mr. Tyus Bowser, and he is right here next to me. Tyus, normally we get right to introducing the guest, and no offense, because you brought out an amazing guest tonight, but we need a minute to talk about you before we get to anybody else.
Okay. Yes, we do.
How freaking excited were all you to see Tyus Bowser back on the field against the New Orleans Saints?
For those of us that were at the game, because there's a good contingent of us that were there. I see a couple of folks that was in the building for New Orleans. The eruption when you on that third down on that first series.
Yeah.
Was amazing. We were so excited for you. So I'm just so happy to see that you're back.
I appreciate it. It felt good. It felt good. It felt really good just to be able to get back on the field. You know, just simple as that. Just get back on the field, knowing what I went through back in January, and just being around these guys again. And, you know, regardless of what I did on the field, the outcome of it, I was just blessed to be able to set foot with these guys, you know, for another opportunity. So that was my win for the night. So.
It was a win for all of us fans, too. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We were in tears. We were excited. Our little guy, Jameson, who's here tonight, he was about to run through the walls of his house. He was so excited to see you back. Did you happen to see that video?
But like that type of stuff is what motivates me the most, man. Just, you know, little guys like that know who I am, that, you know, that helps me inspire them. So for them to know who I am and for him to do that, man, it just meant the world to me.
Dude, we were so excited. Oh, man, we're going to talk more about it. The Tyus Bowser Show is a partnership of Pressbox and Grade 8's memorabilia. It's brought to you by the Ginsu Kamado Grill and Maryland Vascular Specialists. Their team of surgeons is Maryland's leaders in ethical arterial procedures. All right, you did bring out, we described him as the biggest guest you've ever brought out. This man is so large he could be a senator in Pennsylvania. He's the biggest human being I think I've ever seen. You want to introduce us to your guests?
Oh man, this man needs no introduction, but this is a man of the year. There's a, you know, vet that I look up to, that I've always looked up to, you know, since he got here, and just what he's been able to do throughout his entire career, not only on the field but off the field, is what, you know, guys like me aspire to be, and that guy is Calais Campbell.
What's going on, baby? How we doing? Thanks for having me.
When did you first know you were big? Like, at what age did it strike you? Like, I don't look like all of the other 7-year-old boys.
That's a great question. You know, I've always been pretty big, but I got 5 brothers, 3 older brothers, and so, like, they're always bigger than me, so I didn't really feel big. I didn't really notice I was, like, bigger than everybody else and, like, really was, like, a huge individual until I got to middle school. Like, right around middle school, like, 7th, 8th grade, people started, like, kind of teasing me about being a giant. But I've been 6'8" since I was 15 years old, so sophomore year in high school.
So basically, you were like, you know how we used to see the footage of Andy Reid when he was a child? Y'all ever see that footage of how...
the punt, pass, and kick competition.
That was you? That was basically you, bigger than everybody else there?
Yeah, by far. Always bigger than everybody else. Always been able to play up in sports, so... I was a giant.
Were you ever not allowed to play on a team because they didn't believe that you were the age that you said you were? Like, did you ever have a time where they were like, no, you can't. You're a 16-year-old. Who was the kid that played in, like, the Little League World Series who found out he was 24 a few years ago? Did you ever have that happen to you?
Yeah, no. I guess I always had a baby face, so they believed I was young,
6'8".
Oh, man. Yeah, 16, right?
16.
Tyus, you're a big... It's not like you're a small man.
Yeah.
But then we bring out Calais.
Exactly.
And you almost look like me.
Literally. No, like, literally. At that age, I'm looking at him like, it's no way this guy's 16 years old.
Right.
At 6'8". But it's crazy because you see that nowadays with a lot of these kids, man. They all 6'5", 6'6". I remember seeing... I met this guy back at home during the off season. And... he seen me, he knew I was, and wanted to take a picture. He was like, you know that I'm 13, right? And he was like my height. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy, He was like, I'm gonna be taller than you one day, and I was like, hey.
You already the same height as me at 13.
Exactly.
Sounds like the kid from the Cam Newton commercial. He's like, I'm gonna be your mom's favorite football player.
I remember that one. That was a good one.
No doubt.
Yeah, man, Tyus, you not only are you big, man, but you got the dance moves. I don't know if people seen his Halloween costume. If not,
we did.
Now you gotta go on social media and check it out, because my man Tyus Bowser had the best costume hands down this year.
I appreciate it.
All right, well, we had a request that came in.
Okay.
And I don't remember who it was that asked, so I apologize if it was someone who was here. We had a request that said, yeah, that was a famous scene from Latrell in White Chicks, but there was another scene that was maybe even a little bit more famous. Is there any chance we can get you to do a sing-along to 1,000 Miles?
Oh, man. Maybe if, once I get in that mood, if it's the right time, I'll probably do it. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. I'm just saying it has to be the right place, right time.
Right now, Tyus.
Nah, man.
Tyus.
I'm gonna disappoint y'all because I don't even know half of the lyrics, but just the hook part. So I'm not gonna do that. But I'm willing to learn a song, and then if the time comes, I'll do it.
We happen to know we've talked before. You can sing.
Who told you that?
I heard a rumor. I heard a rumor that you could sing a little bit. I did.
Who told you this?
So what are you, an alto or a tenor? Alto or tenor?
I'm a tenor.
Huh?
I'm a tenor.
Okay.
In the church, I was a tenor.
Okay.
I heard a rumor that you could sing a little bit. I was hoping that maybe we could...
I'm not sure who told you this, but you might want to check your resources.
All right. Fair enough. We'll leave it alone. So I want to talk about your guys' relationship, because I remember you telling us last year about how much Calais meant to you and how much you wanted to get him out here for a show because he was so important to you. Can you tell me about what you've soaked up? The man's a legend. I mean, the man is an icon in this sport. Can you tell me about what you soaked up from this man?
I mean, first, just his personality and just how open he is to helping the young guys, whether that's on the field, off the field, financially. Like, I'll be in the locker room with this guy after practice is over where everybody's gone, and we just talk about different stuff. And he'll always check on me and see how I'm doing, how I'm feeling on the field, just through my entire rehab process, he's asked me how I'm feeling and when he feel like I'm gonna be back. And that just for a guy like who he is, to be able to have so much attention and effort and energy towards your well-being is amazing to me. And that's what I always feed off on, is just energy and the type of people I'm around. So for this guy to do that and go out his way to check on me, especially knowing who he is, you don't really see that a lot. So for him to do that, man, that was a lot, especially, during that time when I had lost my uncle at the time, and he was there to, wrap his arms around me and just to check on me and see how I'm feeling. And there was a picture that was taken during that time, and I got it posted in my office, like a huge mural just at that moment, because that was such a critical time in my life, going through that situation. And for this guy and who he is to be able to do that and be there for me, man, like, that lasts forever, So.
Calais, you're the OG of the locker room, right? How important is it to you to be a mentor to guys like Tyus in terms of, because there's so much more to football. Like he said, Tyus already mentioned financially and emotionally. You need somebody that can help you go through these things. How important was that to you for that role?
Oh, 100%. I've always just kind of, it's about relationships. I talked to the old wise vets when I was a young buck and the guys who retired, and you ask them what they miss about the game, and it's that locker room talk. It's that just relationship with the players, going somewhere, together, breaking bread together, going to dinner, just being able to hang out and talk. The football, the fans, the winning games, all that is great, but the relationships you create when you're in the locker room, that bond is as strong as it gets. And I've always took that, with a lot of pride. And I know, just all my history, all the things I've learned throughout the game, I want to share them with people. It's no good for me to take them with me, and when I'm done with the game, I just don't give them to nobody else, and that doesn't make sense to me. So, when I was young, the guys used to call it keeping their pension strong, making sure the game is strong so they can get their pension money, and so that's the same way my mentality is. It's like, okay, let's keep the game strong by sharing knowledge. So all the things I've been through, all the mistakes I've made, all the lessons I've learned, I got to make sure I share that with all the guys in the locker room, and there's certain guys you have better relationship with just naturally, just that natural communication and just friendship that develops. And Tyus, the moment I stepped into the locker room and I got traded here, and just, ever since, we've had a really good bond, really good connection. It's always good having those conversations. He's always one of the last people to leave the locker room, and so am I. So we always get time to talk because we're like the last ones in there, a few other guys, and we get to always kind of just talk about life and things that are so much bigger than football. But we still talk a lot about football too. And my goal is to help Tyus be the best player he can be on the football field, but also be the best man he can be off the field.
It's awesome, man. Tyus, nice of you to wait around for your grandfather, too, in the locker room at the end of the day. Make sure he's all right. He's got everything packed up. It's a nice thing for you to do, bro. Calais, who was the guy for you? Who played that role for you when you were a young player?
Yeah, I had a few different guys. Birch and Barry was probably one of the first guys
that guy,
really
man.
Helped me a lot, helped me, learn how to talk to the media, learn how to, utilize the platform we have. Larry Fitzgerald is another guy who just from really outside of football with, just take care of your body, learn how to watch tape, all that stuff, and then really watching he leads by example too, but Darnell Dockett, Adrian Wilson, I had a really good group of vets when I was a young buck to learn from, Carlos Dansby, a lot of guys. Another guy that played here, I only was with him for, pretty much 2 years, but Anquan Bolton. Bolton was a great big brother to me. He always had like really good charity events, and I would go out just 'cause I wanted to just, help people and stuff. I didn't know what I wanted to do on my own yet, but he would always have really good charity events and invite me along, and I'll go to his hometown and, help raise money. He had a little basketball tournament. He would do for
Q
for
days.
fans.
I remember this. But Anquan was such a good guy. One day, with the day that he got traded by the Ravens, I texted him, asked him if he would come on. He said, "Yeah, but I'm in Ethiopia." He was just trying to get water to people in Ethiopia. I'm like, man, that is unbelievable. It's the Tyus Bowser Show, Press Box and 105.7 The Fan. We're live at Mother's North Grill in Timonium. The last two games, the Baltimore Ravens have held the ball for an average of 38 minutes and 5 seconds. Over the last two games. Y'all are doing some kind of clicking right now. Do you feel that there's something special happening right now? I know that y'all were winning games earlier. I know that, you expected to be really good. But this is kind of dominant. This is enforcing your will. Are you feeling that like a tide has turned and there's nothing that anybody can do about it right now?
I feel like we're such in a great position within our team when it comes, like you said, to chemistry and clicking with each other. And that's just based off of, performance, us adding in Roquan, bringing in, guys like me and other guys who were injured back on the field, and just, developing that chemistry, that communication with each other to go out there and play for each other. And Coach McDonald, our defense coordinator, mentioned, we're on a route to where we're moving in the right direction, and we just got to continue to, lock into what we need to do, individually, collectively as a position, and overall just as a defense, of just continue to work hard, continue to stay in the playbooks, working hard in practice, and all of that stuff will come into play in the into the game. So we're doing a great job with, the little things, whether that's, staying in the film room, taking care of our bodies, communicating, on the field. And when we continue that, then you see the results of us winning games, and that's where we're on right now.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
really amazing to see what's going on. Calais, again, it's not like you guys are playing poorly beforehand, but this just seems like another level these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Coach McDonald always says, it's about the trajectory of where we're going. We putting it all together. We have, where we want to be, but right now we just want to be trending in the right direction. So where we want to be, late in the season is at our very, very best. But to do that, we have to be gelling today. But going into a bye week, everything kind of resets for a little bit. So now we have to kind of reestablish ourselves and really, regather that momentum we had going into the bye. So, we're in a really delicate place right now, but I think we're in a really good place. We had a practice yesterday, and you really felt the energy. Guys were locked in and just staying in the moment. Nobody was looking ahead, trying to figure out, look at our schedule, look what we can do. It's like, nah, just stay in the moment. Let's just make sure today's on point.
Speaking of that, I think the emphasis that we're hearing is the strength of schedule going down the stretch. Obviously, you only play one team that has a winning record. That's the Bengals. How do you keep yourself motivated so that you don't get caught in a trap game? Because that's very possible, right? You can overlook your opponent and say, oh, no, we should beat these guys, and then turn around and, find a way to lose. We see the Commanders last night beating the Eagles. So how do you keep your core group of guys focused on what's ahead of them? Because I think sometimes we get to the bridge before we even get on the road.
Yeah, I think everybody in our locker room. I think everybody in our locker room understands. I think we have a veteran group with a lot of young guys who have a lot of experience, and then some young guys who just kind of following along, real rookies and stuff. So I think that veteran presence, we understand that it's hard to win in the NFL. It doesn't matter who you're playing against; it's hard to win. So every game is crucial, and we know that. We have some teams in our division that are not going to just lay down. They're going to get better. Cincinnati's not going to just let us win a division. We're going to have to earn it. So every game is so crucial that we don't have a chance. We don't have the luxury of letting the game slip away. So we're locked in. We're staying in the moment. I think, the really good teams, you beat who you're supposed to beat. I know everybody, hey, it's football. It's NFL. The margin for the difference between each team is so small. Every team is very, very talented. Any team could be any team any given day, any given Sunday, right? But what makes us special, though, is I think that we have a veteran group that knows that each moment is crucial, and we won't let it slip away.
And I actually went to the Eagles game last night. And
I saw that. I saw that you were in Philly.
Yeah.
So how was that?
It was actually pretty cool. Just the energy, just being able to, see it from a fan's view and see the game, especially where I was at. So I got to see the formations. I got to see different things and kind of work on my game, as a player. But I got to get with one of my guys, Greg Ward. And,
Houston guy, yeah.
And we was kind of just chatting last night after the game, and he was just telling me just, how it was for them, kind of overlooking the Commanders just based off of the record and what they've been able to do up to this point. And I want to say they had like 10 days off. So he could tell, and even the fans could tell that, from those 10 days off, they could see how sluggish they are. And you could see it from the play, just what they was able to do. And he was just saying, man, guys was, looking past this game. Guys was not as focused or just writing this game off because of where they at. And like you said, man, this is the National Football League. Every team is good regardless of what their record says. And you got to come out and perform every single Sunday, especially when you're, 9-0, you got a huge target on your back, and everybody is looking to beat you, And you just got to take that into consideration, especially for me, being in this position with these guys. And like you said, just with our schedule and how it's looking, it looks like we're supposed to win these games, but you can't go into that thinking like, oh, this team has got this record. Like, you got to go in thinking that, man, this team is the Philadelphia Eagles and they undefeated right now. And that's got to be your mindset each and every week.
Yep.
I heard Calais mention Coach McDonald. Didn't you used to babysit him?
He is younger than me. That's right. But nah, he's a coach that he gets it. Like, he's really, really smart. He understands about relationships, and he comes in and he's really receptive to what we think. And I think that's super cool because we have a lot of veterans on our D-line, our defense. And we talk through stuff all the time. He'll say what he's thinking and why he's thinking it and what we could do, and then it's very it's a conversation, and so when we have opinions and things that we want to do, he listens, and most of the time he responds. Now sometimes he'll say, hey, I don't want to do that for this reason, and it usually makes sense. So it's kind of cool to have a coach like that.
That's neat. All right, make some more noise. Tyus Bowser, Calais Campbell, please. Hey, Grade 8's Memorabilia is hosting a pair of Rollin' with Santa toy drives to benefit Holiday of Hope. The bowling event Saturday, December 3rd at Perry Hall Square with Brandon Stevens. The skating edition is Tuesday, December 6th at Skateland Putty Hill with Daniel Fa'alele. And you can also find out more about those events and presents with Pepe Williams right now by going to Grade 8's Memorabilia with the number 8, grade8smemorabilia.com. We come back in.
All right, that's segment number 1 of the Tyus Bowser Show. We will get you segment number 2 tomorrow, and a little bit later on today, we will post the entire show in the archives. You know the point. We'll get it up. Thank you. We will get it up there a little bit later on today, and of course, Friday night, 105.7 The Fan. You will be able to listen to the show in its entirety as well. Great time with Tyus Bowser and Calais Campbell last night. Would You Rather Wednesday scenarios are up at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. Would You Rather Wednesday, as always, is brought to you by Glory Days Grill, and somebody's going to win a $25 gift card to Glory Days Grill just for participating today. As we wind down in hour number 1 of the program, it's also been brought to you by the all-new Ginsu Kamado Grill. The Ravens back at home this Sunday. That means you can stop by before the game and visit the Game Day Firehouse, the Firefighters Union Hall, 1202 Ridgely Street, just west of the stadium. Sample the cooking from the Ginsu Kamado Grill. Register to win your own, as well as $500 worth of grilling meats. And as always, you use the code TAILGATE at ginsugrills.com. You can save $100 when you order your own Ginsu Kamado Grill, the perfect ceramic home grill or tailgate for searing, baking, smoking, and grilling all kinds of food. Again, ginsugrills.com. Use that code TAILGATE. Couple of things really quickly from James. James says, Glenn, absolutely agree with you. It would not have been, I don't know what you're trying to say, but he's basically saying that it would not have been maddening, I think, if Scott Servais had won Manager of the Year. It makes absolutely no sense that Terry Francona would want it. I agree with everything you say about Brandon Hyde, but I think he was worthy of recognition specifically for the job that he did this year. Yeah, I mean, sure, worthy, I guess. Again, you can't get me to get mad about it. Maddening. I don't know about that. It's a weird word to use. Maddening? No, not that. Something else, but not maddening. I think we all, again, I'm not doing more on it. I already did 20 minutes on it. I'm not doing more on Brandon Hyde not being Manager of the Year. From Jeff. Jeff says, Glenn, what do you make of the crowds at the early season Maryland games? It feels like everybody wanted Mark Turgeon gone. They got their way, and then they're still not willing to support the program. Jeff, if you've listened to this show, you know I'm the wrong person to ask about this. I mean, maybe you're doing this because you know it'll get me on a rant or something like that. I don't know. It is a bad bit. And in fact, I'll go a step further. I think it's embarrassing when we tweet out pictures of crowds and we try to make it seem like there's some sort of story there. And I'm not calling out any individual reporter. I mean, my buddy Jeff Erman does this sometimes. And I like Jeff. He's one of my friends. I think it's hack. I think it's low rent. You know why there aren't big crowds at Maryland games right now. They played Binghamton. They played Western Carolina. I don't remember who they played in the first game now. They haven't proven anything yet. There aren't particularly high hopes for this team. And they have been through a very mediocre stretch of basketball for the last decade plus. It's what I kept telling you when we were going through the coaching search last year about the quality of the job. You can tell me about how good of a job it is, and I think maybe it has the chance to be that good of a job, but in reality, it's a program that has hardly been relevant for 2 decades. For 2 decades, it has had, at most, splashes of relevance. In moments, it's mattered. They haven't been to an Elite 8 since they won the national championship in 2002. In what world would the arena be packed for an early season game against Binghamton? You can answer your own questions. They have to earn that. That's the way it works. If they're consistently good for the next couple of years, if they're consistently competing to make deep runs in the NCAA tournament, then 3 years down the road, their early season game against Canisius or against, and I'm not trying to take shots at these programs, against Presbyterian, those games will be packed if they're consistently competitive. I mean, by competitive, I don't mean like win more games than you lose. You better be doing that. Mark Turgeon did that. I mean, like competing to matter in the NCAA tournament. If you do that, then you get bigger crowds for any game you play. Right now, it's hard to get big crowds for any game at all, even the games that on paper matter the most. It's such a hack bit. Oh, look at the crowd. There's hardly anybody there. Yes, you're right. Now explain why. You're a smart person, Mr. Reporter, Mrs. Reporter, Miss Reporter. I don't know what we say anymore. Non-binary people. You're a very smart person. Explain it. Say, this makes sense because the program hasn't done anything. And they don't give away the tickets for free. And they don't make it easy. They don't come pick you up at your house. The burden is on the ticket purchaser. I saw all the pictures floating around last night. I saw that there was nobody at the game. And it didn't remotely surprise me because I have a brain. Because I can think about what it's like to be Joe in Sykesville or Molly in Park Heights, who likes Maryland basketball, roots for Maryland basketball, but on a Tuesday night, on a rainy Tuesday night in November, when the program hasn't been good, even with a new coach, and they're playing Binghamton, says to themselves, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. The burden is on the consumer. What makes it worth it to the consumer to put up with the burden? And for some people, it's just you playing the games. For some people, they just care so much about Maryland basketball that it's worth the burden just to be at any Maryland basketball game. But that's a very small group of people. And in the same way where I don't get mad about attendance anywhere else, you're not going to get me to get mad about it. They don't give away the tickets. It sucks driving down there. It sucks miserably driving to College Park on a weeknight. I want to blow my brains out. It's awful. It is a horrendous experience, particularly on a day where it rained. It sucked for me driving from Hunt Valley to Timonium yesterday. And it's 5 minutes down the road, and it sucked. Stop it. It's so low rent. We're embarrassing. We know the answers. We're just doing it because we're playing to the lowest common denominator. Some mouth breather is going to get worked up by the fact that there weren't people at the game last night. You know why there weren't people at the game last night. You're not stupid. I don't think. This thing we do with attendance, like there is some obligation from every fan base in the world to say, no matter what the circumstances are, you have to go out of your way to be. It's nuts. We are disconnected from reality. You want to send out a tweet with a picture of the crowd and say nobody's here? Fine. If you feel like that's part of your job as a reporter in taking the temperature of the scene, I need to set the scene for this game and what's going on. And one of the stories is nobody's here. Fine. But add context. Why is nobody here? If you think it's important to share, you should be able to answer those questions. It makes sense that nobody's here. That's logical. It would be a story if you showed up at the Ravens-Panthers game on Sunday and there were 5,000 people at the game. That would be a story. Something would be going on there. And by the way, I do think it'll be a game where there will be people tweeting out about the pockets of empty. I think there will be people who will wake up. I haven't looked at the weather for Sunday, but I think there will be people who wake up on Sunday morning and say, if it's 47 degrees when you wake up on Sunday morning, I think there'll be a lot of people that say, yeah, I can skip on the Panthers game. I'm good. I think there will be pockets of empty seats at the Ravens game on Sunday. Not a marquee opponent. Potential for maybe the weather's. I have not looked ahead to the weekend. But if it's cold, I could absolutely see where people will wake up and just sort of say, I'll see you for the next one. But if 5,000 people were there, if less than half of the stadium was full, that would be a story. That would be something that you should be tweeting about, we should be asking about, and trying to figure out what's going on, because that would be illogical. It's not illogical that the arena in College Park was less than half full last night. That makes sense. All right, you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish with your question. You got me to.
It's going to be miserable it'll be sunny, but it's going to be freezing. It's going to be a high of 37, 15-mile-per-hour winds.
There's going to be an awful lot of people that are going to wake up. There are going to be an awful lot of tickets available. If you wanted to go to, by the way, and I mean this, if you wanted to go to a game, and you just, affording tickets is an issue for you, this is the week for you. I would start poking around on Friday because people are going to start to realize that they're going to start looking at the weather report and saying, this one might not be for me. Opponent, that's at best nondescript. 37 degrees, there's going to be a lot of people that say to themselves, I'm good. See you guys next time. And there will be opportunities for you to step in and maybe just get their tickets. You might not even have to pay for them. You might just be able to ask someone in your life. And honestly, I would post it on social media. Hey, is there someone, it's supposed to be 37 degrees on Sunday. Is there someone who isn't planning on going to the game? Because if you're not, I'd be happy to take your tickets off your hands. I think you're going to have an opportunity to do that. All right. Hour number 1 is in the books. We'll come back in. Hour number 2, we're going to hear from Jacoby Jones. We're going to hear from Navy soccer coach Tim O'Donohue as they get ready for the NCAA tournament. That's all on the way. It is Glenn Clark Radio. The Baltimore County Police Department is hiring. Entry-level officers start at close to $59,000 a year with a $10,000 bonus. Some restrictions apply. Plus a great retirement plan, medical, dental, and vision insurance, advancement to specialized units, tuition reimbursement, 15 sick days earned per calendar year, and even further incentives for military members and veterans. If you have a passion for service and want a career for life, visit joinbaltimorecountypd.com or call 410-887-5542. You must be a United States citizen, possess a valid driver's license, and have a high school diploma or GED equivalent. The Baltimore County Police Department is an equal opportunity employer.
Come experience Maryland's #1 sportsbook this NFL season at the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, the ultimate place for any sports enthusiast. Take advantage of our 24/7 kiosks, massive video screens, and watch all the action from the best seat in the house. With more money paid out than anyone around, make every moment more at the new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
Glory Days Grill's Oktoberfest menu is now running. It's one of their most popular seasonal menus all year. It features the chicken schnitzel, the Oktoberfest brewer's platter, the brewer's sausage sandwich, the Bavarian burger with a pretzel bun, the cheddar ale soup, the slam dunk pretzels, and the apple cobbler. All of these meals pair well with Oktoberfest beers and Angry Orchard on draft. Dine in or order online at glorydaysgrill.com and pick up your favorites to take home. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Have you been to Guilford Hall Brewery? Located in Baltimore's Station North neighborhood, Guilford Hall Brewery breaks the craft brew mold with their great handcrafted microbrews and amazing Bavarian-style food selections. Join Guilford Hall 7 days a week for Orioles, Ravens, and all of your favorite college games. Make plans now to watch the big games, play trivia, or bring your dog for Yappy Hour. They even have free valet service on Friday and Saturday nights. Go to guilfordhall.com for a complete schedule of events, beer listings, and food and drink specials. We'll see you at Guilford Hall Brewery.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Looking for a simple holiday meal? Try Chick-fil-A Catering. From Chick-fil-A nuggets to mac and cheese, enjoy a variety of tray options sized perfectly for your get-together. Order through the Chick-fil-A app and bring smiles to your family gathering. Availability and order requirements vary. See restaurant for details.
Tune in to Simply the Bets every Tuesday and Weekend at Bookies every other Thursday at 11:40 a.m. And if you really have nothing better to do, keep listening to this show too.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue into hour number 2 of the program. Again, the approvals are coming in for online sports betting. It is days away from being legal and ready to go here in the state of Maryland, and we are trying our best to get you hooked up with the best offers for signing up and getting going with online sports betting. Right now, go to PressBoxOnline.com/offers. You can get $300 in pre-registration credit plus other incentives. PressBoxOnline.com/offers. $300 in pre-registration bonus credits are available for you right now at PressBoxOnline.com/offers. Encourage you to go get that set up right now. All right, 2 things, and then we're going to talk to Tim O'Donohue from Navy. 1, notable news yesterday, obviously for people in the local prep scene, Biff Poggi is now going to be a Division I college football head coach. Biff Poggi has taken the job at the University of Charlotte. By the way, we got to get Al Wallace on this week, who I think does stuff with the University of Charlotte as well. We got to get him on to talk about the Panthers, but we'll talk to him about that too. Every time we've talked about Biff Poggi over the years, I've been conflicted. I don't think Biff Poggi is a bad guy by any stretch of imagination. The people that played for him think very highly of him. The St. Francis story to me was always quite polarizing because I was uncomfortable with the idea of him being portrayed as sort of like the white savior. I said a million times, violinists need opportunities as well. Biff Poggi was giving opportunities to football players to help them win. That isn't heroic to me. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It certainly doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just I'm very uncomfortable with trying to make the story of St. Francis under Biff Poggi being about what a hero he was. I don't agree with that. He brought in football players to try to win football games. And in the process might have given some guys who came from bad economic situations better opportunities. And that's a good thing. But it's not heroic. It's heroic if you don't have any personal interests. It's heroic if you're handing out scholarships to low-income individuals having nothing to do with whether or not they're capable of playing football. That's a wonderful thing. What Biff Poggi was doing was building a football program and using his own personal wealth to do it. And I don't knock him for that. This is, again, like every conversation I have, there's nuance here. I don't knock him for it. He had every right to do that. And he built, obviously, a power at St. Francis. And, of course, he had a hell of a run at Gilman. Jim Harbaugh, on a recent story in The Athletic, was really willing to give Biff Poggi a lot of credit for what Michigan has become, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, the last couple of years. From a program, remember, we are not that far removed from there being questions about Jim Harbaugh's future at Michigan. And I never thought he would get fired because he's the epitome of a Michigan man. But their inability to beat Ohio State, their inability to win the big ones, there are a lot of questions. And Jim Harbaugh gave a lot of credit to Biff Poggi. And now here, Biff Poggi is getting a head coaching job. Good for Biff. It's a neat opportunity for him. And he's a very interesting and compelling man. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for him at Charlotte moving forward. I'm happy for him. I harbor no ill will whatsoever towards Biff Poggi. I think he's an interesting, captivating person. And we didn't talk at all this week, and I don't want this to be a downer, but we didn't talk at all this week, obviously, about the tragedy at the University of Virginia. They've decided they're not going to play their football game on Saturday, and I completely understand that. There's always that, there's sometimes when programs go through something, there's a feeling of like, we want to do this to have the opportunity to honor our guys on the field. There's no correct answer to this. They've decided they can't play. They were supposed to play Coastal Carolina on Saturday. Non-conference game probably makes it a little bit easier for them to say, we can't do this right now. It's just unthinkable. I don't have anything else to say. A lot of other people have a lot of opinions, and I get that. I guess there's been a push to don't describe it as an event, don't describe it as a tragedy, use the words mass shooting. And I understand that this conversation, it's easier to sanitize this if you don't use those words. Well, there was an unfortunate event. There was an unfortunate no, there was a mass shooting. And it's sickening. It's just, it's sickening. So I don't have any connection, obviously, with them. But on a human level, I think every single one of us felt the same way when we heard this news about the University of Virginia. Morgan Moses put out a statement. I'll share that really quickly. Morgan Moses, of course, played now the Baltimore Ravens offensive tackle. He played at the University of Virginia in his collegiate career. Said, my heart and condolences go out to the University of Virginia community and all the families who have been affected by Sunday night's tragedy. What happened at my alma mater not only saddens me, but it once again reaffirms how much work must be done to rid our society of gun violence. With yet another senseless shooting, we lost some great young men in the making, young men with futures, young men who have the ability and desire to create positive change in today's world. I firmly believe that we must commit to pulling together as one so our country, especially in places of learning, becomes a safer place. I tend to agree. It's obviously a conversation that tends to get nowhere, and it's infuriating. But I agree with Morgan Moses, and of course my heart and thoughts also go to the University of Virginia, but that means nothing in comparison to losing 3 young men, which is just gut-wrenching, absolutely gut-wrenching. It's not easy to go from this to talking about sports. Those aren't easy things to do. Why don't we take a break? We'll use that as a palate cleanser. Still to come this hour. Oh, a visitor. Oh, I like that. And then still to come this hour, Tim O'Donohue will join us, and Jacoby Jones. That's all on the way. It's Glenn Clark Radio. Have you been to Guilford Hall Brewery? Located in Baltimore Station North neighborhood, Guilford Hall Brewery breaks the craft brew mold with their great handcrafted microbrews and amazing Bavarian-style food selections. Join Guilford Hall 7 days a week for Orioles, Ravens, and all of your favorite college games. Make plans now to watch the big games, play trivia, or bring your dog for Yappy Hour. They even have free valet service on Friday and Saturday nights. Go to guilfordhall.com for a complete schedule of events, beer listings, and food and drink specials. We'll see you at Guilford Hall Brewery.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
What's up, everyone? This is Tyus Bowser, and I'm excited to tell you that I'm back for Season 2 of the Tyus Bowser Show in partnership with Pressbox and Grade 8 Memorabilia. Join us on Tuesday nights throughout the season as I'll be heading all over town with my special guests. And of course, our co-hosts, Glenn and Rita. Or is it Rita and Glenn? What is it? I look forward to meeting you guys and talking a little bit about football and a lot about life. And if you happen to miss the show, you can now catch a replay Friday nights on 105.7 The Fan. Get all of your details for the Tyus Bowser Show right now at PressBoxOnline.com/Bowser.
Sports betting has come to Maryland, and we're ready to help you win some money. Tune in for Simply the Bets every Tuesday morning at 11:40. FanDuel Sportsbook GM Leon Twyman and VSiN's Aaron Oster join the guys every week to give you all of the info you need and offer you a few winners. And every other Thursday at 11:40, tune in for Weekend at Bookies as Andrew Stecca and Alloy Sports' Brad Kronthal help make you some money for the weekend. So come win some money with us on Simply the Bets every Tuesday and Weekend at Bookies every other Thursday. Brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. Watch at YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline.
Glory Days Grill's Oktoberfest menu is now running. It's one of their most popular seasonal menus all year. It features the chicken schnitzel, the Oktoberfest brewer's platter, the brewer's sausage sandwich, the Bavarian burger with a pretzel bun, the cheddar ale soup, the slam dunk pretzels, and the apple cobbler. All of these meals pair well with Oktoberfest beers and Angry Orchard on draft. Dine in or order online at glorydaysgrill.com and pick up your favorites to take home. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
Check out Jeremy Kahn's daily picks at PressBoxOnline.com as he tries to find you daily winners. And speaking of winners, here's a man who once won a media curling contest, and I don't think anything else. He's Glenn Clark.
Well, I'm a very lucky man because look at this. This is a bounty that was just brought in. My man Tim Diggs from Glory Days Grill just stopped by the studio, and that makes me very happy. It happens to be Would You Rather Wednesday presented by Glory Days Grill. And he wanted me to know about the Comfort Classics, which are now available, the new seasonal menu at Glory Days Grill. Take a look right there. And it includes, brought me my own winter spinach salad. That is my play. Baby spinach tossed with pears, apples, candied pecans, dried cranberries, and red onions, and an apple honey Dijon vinaigrette, topped with blue cheese. Yep. That's gonna be for me. Now, what is this? What's next? These are the mac and cheese bites. These are hand-breaded Mom's mac and cheese drizzled in our signature Glory sauce. So I don't normally eat like this. I can have half of one. Griffin, can you cut me like half of one of those? Because that is not something that I should be eating. Oh, the salmon. Oh, boy. The citrus salmon, the salmon fillet, lightly cured with kosher salt, sugar, and spices, seared and topped with a citrus butter, served with charred green beans. Oh, my, that sounds good. Now, get a picture of everything for sure. Oh, my, there's so much in front of us. There's so much in front of
incredible.
us. Oh, my God. Look at all that. I can't. And then the wings and the ribs. I'm going to try something from that box. Because I get that's the purpose of this, is I'm supposed to try these things and tell you about how good they are. All right, these are the mac and cheese bites. Let me go there. All right, dig right in. Oh. I mean, come on. Just come on. Ah. Oh. All right. So here's what makes this perfect. Everything. Everything is what makes that perfect. What'd you go for?
I also went
You
for
also
mac
went
and
for mac
cheese
and cheese
bite,
bites? That's delicious. Oh, my God. The mac and cheese is
So
creamy.
you were just in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
This compares?
The mac and cheese is creamy. You get the crunch of the fried. Oh, my God. That's spectacular. Okay. So I'm going to try that. Then the twisted ribs and wings combo. I'm sorry, I should clear my... Everybody loves listening to me eat. That's great quality radio. Twisted ribs and wings combo. 2 pounds of meat. Tender pork ribs, flash fried and tossed in our house-made barbecue sauce, paired with 6 wings with your choice of sauce and seasoned fries. Just look at that. I need a napkin, Griffin. I'm going to need a napkin because I'm going to try... I'm going to consume a rib. Which, again, not normally the way that I live at this time of the day. Oh, my God. Oh, you know how much better this is than chili and cinnamon rolls? No offense. So much better. Yeah, dessert. They brought dessert as well. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Tracy brought in a whole roll of paper towels. And I guess, assuming that I'm a pig. I don't know how to do this because it's going to drip barbecue sauce everywhere. Maybe I got to remember to talk into the microphone. Yes, thank you. Perfect. That's what I needed. All right. Here we go. Tim could not stick around, unfortunately. He's a little under the weather. Glory! Glory! Damn it, that's beautiful. Matt, cancel the rest of the show. Cancel the rest of the show. We're not doing any more show today, Griffin. Oh, and that's the bourbon butter cake. The bourbon butter cake? How good do those words sound together? Bourbon butter cake. Warm butter cake topped with vanilla ice cream, house-made bourbon sauce, candied pecans! For the love of God, candied pecans! No, and powdered sugar, just in case you didn't have enough already. Try that, because that's not going to be for me.
Okay.
Try some ice cream and cake together.
They got this ice cream locked up.
This is unbelievable. This is, what do you mean it's locked up?
I can't get it open.
What are you, 4? Jesus Christ.
There we go.
All right, there you go. Get in. Dig in. Enjoy some butter cake and ice cream together. Meanwhile, I'm going to need an hour to clean off my hands after having one single rib. Oh, Jesus, yeah. Hi, I'm Glenn. I'm a pig. Look at me. Take a picture of that. I'm just a pig. The delicious Glory Days rib sauce all over my fingers. You think I'm not going to lick it off? I'm definitely going to lick it off. I don't care that you're watching. I'm going to do it because it's amazing. Oh, this is fantastic. All right, glorydaysgrill.com. As always, the website. This is perfect because we're going to talk to.
Goodness, it's the
Look at that.
It's warm.
Look at that. Oh, that looks spectacular. Oh, yeah, get a big mouthful, Griffin. Get a big mouthful. How's that? How's the butter cake?
It's unbelievable.
Describe the butter cake to me.
It's so it's soft and warm, and I don't know. This is just. It's home. It's home.
It's home.
Yeah.
It's home. All right. I'm going to need a minute here. Good news. We pre-recorded an interview with Tim Donahue, so I'm going to have a minute in order to enjoy this feast. GloryDaysGrill.com is the website. You know how much I love Glory Days Grill. Literally, John Little Rock was in town. That's where we went last Thursday when he came to visit. Of course, $6.99 apps continue every night after 9 o'clock, but the Comfort Classics menu is now available at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill, featuring all of these wonderful, wonderful things. Pair them with the Devil's Backbone Vienna Lager or a Blood Orange Bourbon Cider. Oh, I still haven't taken a bite of the meatloaf. Mom, the meatloaf! Oh, did you watch?
I get that reference.
Yeah, I like this. Oh, are we doing that today?
Yeah, we could. I mean, if we have time.
Maybe we'll do that today before Jacoby.
Well, I watched Wedding Crashers, but I watched Old School.
Right.
The next one.
Right.
Meatloaf
we got to do. Right. Yeah, I know. We did some Wedding Crashers, but you watched Old School.
Watched
All right.
Old
Maybe we
School.
save that for tomorrow. Maybe we save it for tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Oh God, I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy. GloryDaysGrill.com. And again, they bring you Would You Rather Wednesday, so get your responses in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio, and you can win a $25 gift card to go enjoy all of these delicious Comfort Classic menu items at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill. Had to do this a little bit earlier on because of their schedule getting ready for the NCAA tournament, but Navy Soccer won the Patriot League. Their head coach, Tim O'Donohue, right now on GCR.
Well, we're joined now here on GCR by a man who's getting ready for the NCAA tournament. Tomorrow at noon, they take on Georgetown. He is the head coach, the Patriot League champions. Navy soccer coach Tim O'Donohue's with us now here on GCR. Coach, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you. Congratulations. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes for us.
Of course. Thank you very much, Glenn, for having me on.
It's great to chat with you. Coach, I'm going to peel this back a little ways. What you guys have been building in Annapolis, did you know coming into this season there was a chance for it all to come together for you? Or maybe when? When did it strike you like, hey, man, we've got a chance to do something here?
Yeah, I thought we'd have a good team this year. Now, we graduated or lost 5 starters from last year's team, which was a really good team. So in some ways, we were set up the last 3 years to win it in advance, particularly last year and then that COVID year. We were 4-0. Then a bunch of stuff happened with everything going on with the virus. But this year was a bit of a transition year. I wouldn't say rebuilding, but transition, because we start one senior, we're young. So I thought we'd have a good team. But if you were to ask me realistically, the plan probably would have been to go after it. And I thought we would be good, and I thought we'd have a chance. But probably next year when we have everyone back, it would be more realistic. But I think if you have a good program and you have a good team each year, you're going to catch a break and make a run.
And it worked. I know it was kind of a crazy year in the Patriot League, and there wasn't a ton of separation. And going into that final night of the season, it felt like everybody had a chance to end up in the postseason. Did you guys was there a conversation that you were having hey, all we got to do is get in? There's a real chance for us here to break through and win this thing.
Yeah, that was the conversation all year. We were actually in a good position throughout the year, in the league. So it was, hey, we're tying a lot of games that we thought we should have been getting some wins in some of those games, but we were in a good position in the league. Let's get in, and we felt like we only had one loss in the league this year, which was the star match with Army. So that was the only loss. Every other game was a tie or a win. And we felt like there wasn't a team that was really better than us. Now, that being said, we weren't necessarily dominating anybody, but we thought we were maybe the best team. And, that's what we kept saying. Just be patient, keep going. And we felt like, we had an opportunity.
It worked out that way. Tim O'Donohue is with us, Navy men's soccer coach. They're getting ready for the NCAA tournament tomorrow at Georgetown. Coach, in my role as a play-by-play guy at Loyola, I wasn't doing the game because you guys were hosting it, but I was certainly paying attention to the incredible dramatics and a match that, came down to the final couple of seconds, and Loyola was able to steal a point in a game that it looked like you guys had won late in the season. And I wondered if, maybe going through something like that where it wasn't a loss, but it was a match that you should have won. Did it serve as maybe a little bit of a wake-up call to have a goal scored? I mean, in unbelievably dramatic fashion, obviously, in the closing seconds like that.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, it was embarrassing. We're a defensive team, and we pride ourselves on being buttoned up defensively. And to give up a goal when we kind of had that, we were in. I mean, with that one, if we had won 1-0, just closed out the game, we were in the tournament. So it was tough. And to be fair, it was an amazing goal, an amazing play by Loyola. So, and if you actually look at the goal, in a lot of ways, it was more of a great play and a bit of a free play, but an amazing, a kid hit a 60-yard ball from the 18. Phenomenal finish by Swales. A miscommunication for sure with our defense and goalkeeper, but I think it was not a wake-up call. It was for us. It was when the guys came back, they were incredibly resilient to get a win against American. And I think this group, what I think of this group is the character of this team. People talk about character, but this legitimately, I've been a head coach for 18 years. It's a great group, just nobody points fingers, great culture, hard-working group. And you really saw what the Naval Academy is all about. When we came back, had the last 3 games had shutouts after really, I mean, it could have went the other way when you give up a goal like that at the end. So that's kind of my feeling about that situation. But you got to really tip your hat off to Swales and Loyola, because they didn't give up, and it was an incredible play by them, and I give them actually a ton of credit for equalizing.
You mentioned you guys, there are a lot of draws involved, and we know that the rules changed in college soccer this season, and in the regular season there was no extra time. Do you feel like maybe because of all the draws that you played, that getting into the postseason, that maybe there was a bit of an advantage? Like, hey, we would have had more wins if this had been like past years. We had gone and played to 110 minutes or gone to PKs. Did that set you guys up well for having to go to PKs, obviously, during the Patriot League tournament, and now, for a chance for you guys to make a run here in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, a lot of ties, and certainly we had a lot of ties, so did a lot of teams in the league. But if you look at soccer generally, if you look at the table in England or Germany or Spain, or if you look at the MLS, when there's no extra time, there's a lot of draws. So that's part of the game, because particularly the way the game is now. So there's a lot of parity tactically. You can stay in games. So I mean, we didn't really want 9 ties, but I thought 6 would have been realistic. But the bottom line is we were outpossessing a lot of teams. We were having more chances than other teams. Our expected goal was higher than a lot of teams, and the players know that, because I share the statistic with the guys. And we still had a winning record. We played a good schedule, and so the team, we knew we have a good team, but we also know that if you take your foot off the gas, anybody can beat you. And I think that's kind of the message in the last 3 or 4 games, is that you got to play 90 minutes. But certainly, I think going through a little bit of resilience last year, the last 2 years, we were like 12-1 or 10-1 going into the last couple games, and maybe the team hadn't dealt with enough resilience, enough tough moments, and these tough moments that we had, I think, prepared us.
Obviously, and it set you guys up well to get the job done in the Patriot League tournament. I know it's unique, obviously, at Navy with recruiting. It's not like a lot of places where everybody's local, but you guys do have some local kids on your roster, and a couple that jump out at me are the Creoles. Can you talk about their role and maybe the significance for them as being kids that are from right down the street into Severna Park and being able to accomplish something like this at the Naval Academy?
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 sets of brothers. So we have the Wagner brothers, who are from New Jersey, played Philly, and the Creoles, who are from Severna Park. So to have two local players like this, and both of them playing a critical role, down the stretch and all season is certainly a lot of fun. And I think, the Naval Academy is a national university, but there is a little bit something unique that local players have, I think, an understanding of the Naval Academy if you've grown up around it, and an appreciation. And I think that's what the 2 of them had. They always wanted to come here, and I think there's a lot of local players and young men and women that, this is a dream of theirs, to come here. If you grew up, with seeing midshipmen in their whites and a part of the daily culture here in Annapolis. So I think it's awesome to have them such a prominent role in our team, and they're just amazing young men.
It's really cool. That's a really unique story. Coach Tim O'Donohue, as we get ready for Navy Georgetown tomorrow in D.C. in the NCAA tournament, the success that the Patriot League has had in the NCAA tournament over the years. Colgate had a lot of wins there for a stretch. Loyola really battled North Carolina. Outplayed North Carolina, frankly. Probably deserved to win that game a year ago. How much did those things help in getting your team to believe what they're capable of doing as you guys now step into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, we're Navy soccer first. We don't, the fact that we're affiliated with the Patriot League, we don't look at what other teams do, to be honest. But what we do talk about is that, we're a very proud program. A lot of these players have played against the players that play at Georgetown, and we're respectful of the teams that we play with. Georgetown are a big team. We beat NC State a couple years ago, beat UVA in an exhibition, but really during COVID it was more than that. So we have high-level players, so they're not going to be intimidated. But it's going to be it's going to be a step up in weight class, no doubt. And I think it's a testament to Steve, at Loyola and Eric Ronning at those schools that there are good players and there are good teams in our league. And I think that's true of, whether when the ACC team plays, whether a Patriot League team or Ivy League team, if you have a good program, you have a good program. So I think that's kind of what we talk about. But we're really one game at a time. That's how we deal with it, and we're just trying to get them prepared for Thursday.
It's going to be a battle, but Coach, seriously, congratulations on a great run. Best of luck as you guys move forward into the NCAA tournament. Whatever happens from here, obviously, would be even more remarkable, but a heck of an accomplishment to be able to get there. Thank you for taking the time for us, and go get them tomorrow down at Georgetown, all right?
Thanks so much, and have a great day.
Thank you to Tim O'Donohue. Congratulations to Navy Soccer, and they get ready for Georgetown tomorrow. I don't know that there are two more magical words in the English language than candied pecans. Those words.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Those
honestly.
words, they do so much for me. When I hear the words candied pecans, I feel hope. I feel comfort.
I'm almost mad at you for making me eat this first because it's spoiled anything else I can eat the rest of the day. Nothing's going to top this.
When I said I need you to try it, you didn't have to eat the whole thing.
Once I had one bite, there was no option. I had no option.
The whole thing. Yeah, I get it. I understand that. Of course, Griffin's enjoying the bourbon butter cake. I enjoyed the winter spinach salad from the Comfort Classic menu at Glory Days Grill.
Yeah, I like mine better.
No offense. No offense. You didn't get to try this because I kept it all for myself. So what the hell do you know? I'm sure that is unbelievable, though. I have no doubt about it. Oh, man. All right. Still to come today. We need to get into Would You Rather Wednesday, brought to you by Glory Days Grill. We need to hear from Jacoby Jones. We're going to do all those things when we come back in. Today's show is also brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, which will always be the best place for you to watch and bet on everything. Of course, the World Cup gets underway on Sunday, and they are going to make sure they have all the games on the 100-foot media wall in the FanDuel Sportsbook. And, of course, no matter even those early morning games, the self-service kiosks will be open 24/7, so you'll have the ability to get your bets in on all of the matches during the World Cup at the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Would You Rather Wednesday? Jacoby Jones. Next, Glenn Clark Radio. Looking for a simple holiday meal? Try Chick-fil-A catering. From Chick-fil-A nuggets to mac and cheese, enjoy a variety of tray options sized perfectly for your get-together. Order through the Chick-fil-A app and bring smiles to your family gathering. Availability and order requirements vary. See restaurant for details.
Come experience Maryland's #1 sportsbook this NFL season at the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, the ultimate place for any sports enthusiast. Take advantage of our 24/7 kiosks, massive video screens, and watch all the action from the best seat in the house. With more money paid out than anyone around, make every moment more at the new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
The Baltimore County Police Department is hiring. Entry-level officers start at close to $59,000 a year with a $10,000 bonus. Some restrictions apply. Plus a great retirement plan, medical, dental, and vision insurance, advancement to specialized units, tuition reimbursement, 15 sick days earned per calendar year, and even further incentives for military members and veterans. If you have a passion for service and want a career for life, visit joinbaltimorecountypd.com or call 410-887-5542. You must be a United States citizen, possess a valid driver's license, and have a high school diploma or GED equivalent. The Baltimore County Police Department is an equal opportunity employer.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, New Maryland basketball coach Kevin Willard sits down with Stan Charles and Glenn Clark to discuss the situation he inherited in College Park and how he plans to get the program turned around. Also, inside, we introduce you to men's and women's college basketball players from all of the teams in the area. And Bo Smoka profiles Ravens receiver Devin Duvernay. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Experience the best in Kamado Grilling, a complete outdoor cooking appliance. The Ginsu Kamado Grill allows anyone to sear, grill, bake, and smoke all types of food. Designed for efficiency and function, the Ginsu Kamado Grill upholds the enduring legacy of the iconic Ginsu brand. The Ginsu Kamado Grill is perfect to cook all year round, is great for parties, and ideal for tailgating with your friends. Reserve your Ginsu Kamado Grill today at ginsugrills.com and get $100 off on your pre-order when you use the promo code TAILGATE. That's ginsugrills.com. Reserve yours today.
Join Glenn at halftime of every Ravens game for the Project Game Day halftime show at facebook.com/PressBoxSports. We apologize in advance. There's not much we can do about his face.
Cool. My producer's missing. We came back from commercial break, and I had nobody to turn the mic on, and I don't know which one of these is mine. So that's the thing. I hope he's not dying in there. I hope that he's going to survive whatever is going on there. But we're going to have to have a chat. Gotta make sure we're back when the segment starts. I don't know which microphone was mine.
Sorry about that.
My number one, I turned them all on because I had no idea. Gonna have to lock that up moving forward.
Sorry, I thought I had more time. That's on me.
Yeah, we've had a rough day today. Had a bit of a sketchy day. All right, it is a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio, brought to you by Glory Days Grill. I blame Glory Days Grill mostly. Also, a reminder that this print issue of Press Box is available right now at your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find it. And, of course, you can read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. Kevin Willard on the cover, new Maryland men's basketball coach. All right, I did get out 3 scenarios for Would You Rather Wednesday. Have not had a robust response so far. I've been a little bit disappointed by that, but you have the entirety of the day. We wait until tomorrow to pick a winner of the $25 gift card, so you have plenty of time to get your responses in. Griffin and I will go through them very quickly right now. Griffin, number 1, given the schedule ahead, would you rather you have to bet everything you have on the Ravens finishing undefeated or, at the same odds, finishing with 2 losses?
So 2 losses the rest of the way?
The rest of the way, yes.
Okay.
They couldn't finish with 2 total losses because they already have 3. So, yes.
So what do I think will happen, or would I rather?
You have to bet one way or the other. You have to bet everything you have on one scenario or the other.
I think that undefeated. I think they have a much better. I'm not. There's not 2 teams or the rest of the way that I think that. Obviously, it's the NFL, so anything can happen. But if I were, well, I am a betting man, so yeah, I would say that it's much more likely that they went out rather than lose 2 more games.
This is a very tricky one, and I was hoping that I was going to get more of a response of people who are just like, hell, let's have fun. I'm going to bet undefeated. Like, that's the way it's going to go. More people are playing the smart side of this, which is, Lamar could get hurt, right? Like, there are still enough things involved.
Is it like they lose at least 2 games?
No, they have to lose exactly 2 games.
Yeah,
exactly
still
2 games.
Definitely undefeated.
I hear you. Number 2, would you rather? I still have candied pecan in my teeth. The dentist wouldn't be very happy about it today. Oh, I love candied pecans. Number 2, you've been looking forward to a movie like Wakanda Forever for some time. Would you rather, right before the movie starts on opening night, someone accidentally spoils it for you? I'll give you a spoiler about the Tyus Bowser Show. In segment number 2, we talk about this, and Calais tells a story about sitting down to watch the Sixth Sense when he was like a kid. You know what I mean? Like, you had to go back a ways, and his mother legitimately, she's like, "Oh, I love that movie. Could you believe the whole time he was dead?" Like, he literally spoils it as he's going to watch the movie. So imagine you show up opening night. By the way, there might be something afoot related to Violent Night. We might be maybe doing something a little bit more formal. Oh. There might be something happening there. I can't say anything yet. We're trying to put something together that maybe we might be able to see it before the day that it comes out. I'm working on that right now. Anyway, so you've been looking forward to a movie. You go opening night. So for Wakanda Forever, this would have been last Thursday for Black Panther. So you show up Thursday night at the movie theater. You're sitting there. Movie starts at 7 o'clock. At 6:58, you're scrolling through Twitter, and you see a major spoiler right as you're about to watch the film. Or, due to a series of unfortunate events, work, maybe you got to visit somebody in the hospital, whatever it is, It's a movie you really wanted to see, but you're not able to see it for a month. So if it came out on the 10th, like Black Panther did, you don't get to see it till December 10th. But you managed to avoid spoilers for the entirety of the month.
Oh, this one's easy for me. I'd wait a month. Not to get something not spoiled is worth it. I think I'd wait. I think that would only add to the anticipation as well as whenever seeing it. But yeah, not knowing what's going to happen in a show, movie, whatever. I think that's very important for the enjoyment of said. What word am I looking for?
I don't know. I have no idea what it is that you think you're saying, but
I said piece of entertainment.
Okay, all right, very good. I have two thoughts here. One is that I always make fun of people that say, when it comes to superhero movies, say, don't spoil it for me. Because I'm always like, I'm so sure that at the end of Batman is going to die. I'm sure that's how this is going to play. Spoiler, good guy wins. Like, I always make fun of people. Now, there are obviously some circumstances. The last couple of Avengers movies, clearly, that there were significant spoilers that would have been involved in those particular films. But with rare exceptions, typically you know how most superhero movies are going to end. Overwhelmingly, they will end with the superhero being victorious. So I kind of make fun of people about spoilers when it comes to superhero movies. Obviously, Black Panther 2, and I have not seen it yet, is a little bit unique because you don't really know ahead of time what it is they're doing because, of course, spoiler, we know there is no T'Challa. Like, we understand that Chadwick Boseman was not available, and they announced they weren't recasting the role. So the spoilers are more like, where do they go from here? So I do think this was particularly unique. Still, I can't wait a month. I can't have everybody else knowing. I can't have everybody else trying to dance around eggshells with me like, oh, right, you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, so I can't do that. I can't do it. It would suck, but I've had that happen to me a few times. Where just by happenstance, like, I missed the part where, like, I read a story about a movie and they were like, there's spoilers involved, and I just didn't. You know how you are on the internet sometimes, or somebody says, hey, spoilers below, stop now, and you're the dummy who didn't read, you're just scrolling through, and you're like, oh, crap. Like, I've had it happen. I would rather that than have to wait a month. I just can't wait a month.
I could wait almost forever. I would rather almost for like even any movie ever. Like I prefer like I don't even like watching trailers that often just because I like trying to go in as blind as possible to things and just so I can be surprised from the first thing I see. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a Star Wars movie? Yeah. Just because I chose not to watch a trailer.
That's weird. That's a really weird.
Maybe it is weird, but I don't want to
be.
I don't want anything spoiled. I don't want to have any preconceived
but
notions.
Watching movie trailers are awesome.
I know.
God,
I know. I still watch movie trailers, but sometimes I'm like,
I watched the trailer for Violent Night and I had an erection. I was like, I need to see this immediately.
That's weird.
All right, number 3, you have to spend the entirety of the World Cup in Qatar. Well, you'll get to go to the games. But you can't drink, you can't hook up, you can't swear, you can't have pork, you can't.
And they're 5-star hotels.
I'm gonna assume not a 5-star hotel.
Did you see the video?
Oh no.
It was like someone was like the hotel. I don't know if it was where the players were staying or if just people were staying there, but it was just tents.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You'll stay in modest accommodations. Okay. All right, modest accommodations. Again, get to go to all the games. But don't get to do nothing particularly entertaining.
Can't drink.
No drinking. Okay. I don't know if you
can't swear.
There was a New York Post story that said like pork, porn, and sex toys will get you thrown in jail. And hey man, not my.
Glenn Clark would not last.
Bro, it's not gonna work. You saw how I dug into that rib in Glory Days Grill. Not gonna work for me. I might use that for. Never mind. Can't say that. They're a sponsor, and they're wonderful. I wouldn't do that to them. You can watch all the games, but you can't drink, hook up, swear, any of those things. Or you have to spend, and I said the rest of the year, I should have said the same time period, at home, but without TV, internet, or books.
So 3 to 4 weeks without.
Yeah, same time period. And I screwed that up in the way that I wrote it, so I apologize to everybody who's responded. But I meant the same time period. You have to stay at home. No TV, internet or books?
I don't think I can live without internet. So I mean, I guess I'm
gonna
going
go be celibate and Qatar for a month.
I'm gonna go to Qatar and
gonna go
and say,
oh
gosh darn it.
It's gonna be terrible news for Dixieland Delight. She's gonna be really upset when she finds out that you're not gonna be able to hook up for a month.
Yeah,
it's just
I
not
know.
gonna work. Sorry, that's the way it's gonna go. Look, Qatar's awful, but I'm with you. I don't think I could do it. Now, among the compelling arguments that have been presented, right? One being, there's too much risk there. Like, what if I accidentally screw up and I swear, and now I'm in a Qatari prison? Jesus. That's a real issue for me. Like, I have to think about that. I have to think about whether or not I'm capable of going a month without slipping up. Like, it's easy for me to say, like I drew my best to not bite. I spent my entire life having an issue with biting my fingernails. About 5 years ago, I finally stopped biting my fingernails.
Good job.
But whenever I get writer's block, whenever I'm sitting down to write a column and I get writer's block, I go right back to it. I'm like, damn it! I get very mad at myself. I do my best. I have started to try to do better at swearing. That's not true. That's not remotely true. I'm terrible at it. I swear a lot. A terrible potty mouth.
Yeah, that's a true, good point. So I guess as soon as I let out a...
And that's what I'm saying. If I could really end up in a prison over swearing, I might not be able to do it, bro. Like, I might not be able to go. It might be the type of thing where this will be torture, not having TV and internet, like just being stuck at home. I can't possibly know what's going on in the football games. Like,
right. Yeah.
That could be torture, but it might still be better than being in a Qatari prison. Like, that sounds like a different type of torture that I don't think I want to be involved with. So
I think I'm still going to try and take my chances and go to Qatar.
It was pointed out by, and I'm sorry, Brad. Brad mentioned that you would still get to have Thanksgiving at home. You would still get to have, like, your family and friends over.
But no internet.
No, there would be no internet. You wouldn't be able to watch the games.
Yeah.
But, like, you would still get to have Thanksgiving.
Not without internet. Not Thanksgiving.
How part of Thanksgiving is internet?
I just need it.
That's a very weird bit, man. That's a very weird.
No, I can't go.
All right.
Slow internet connection peeves me to no end.
Dude, I have to live with it. That's what I have at home because we live on a farm. Like, it sucks. But
so to do that for
Qatari prison sounds worse.
I'll make sure I bite my tongue.
I know myself so well. I mean, like,
and it's only if you get caught, saying something.
Yeah, but have you been paying attention? They are after people there. Like, they are after you in Qatar, man. It's a wretched place. I think I'm going to choose. To stay at home ultimately. Nah, dude. No. I'm sure there's lovely people in Qatar, but everything about this World Cup is awful. All right. We had to do this a little bit earlier. By the way, continue to get me your responses at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter. Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. Someone who participates in Would You Rather Wednesday will win a $25 gift card to Glory Days Grill. Had to do this a little bit earlier. Actually, did it yesterday, whenever it was, earlier in the week. And I have warned you, and I'm going to warn you again. This conversation is unedited and not safe for work. We continue to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Baltimore Ravens' run to Super Bowl 47 and that championship as Jacoby Jones joins us now here on GCR. Well, we have been celebrating all season long the 10th anniversary of the Baltimore Ravens' run to the Super Bowl 47 title, and we finally get our opportunity to catch up with our next guest. Man, he is one of our absolute favorites, a Ravens legend, a man who was vital in their run to the title, and now he is part of the coaching staff down at Alabama State. It's a thrill to welcome back into the show the great Jacoby Jones, who's with us on GCR. Jacoby, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It is so good to catch up with you, man. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes for us.
I thank you for having me, man. You know I love B-Mo. It reminds me of New Orleans. That's home for me.
Man, it is so great to hear your voice, bro. 10 years, man. You're a busy man.
Years.
You're a busy man, but you got to come back up this way and enjoy and celebrate, right?
Heck yeah, it happened at the right time. God worked in mysterious ways.
It's awesome. That is so cool. What was it like being back, being around the guys, and being able to reflect?
To see everybody back Of course, Joe wasn't there because you still playing. It's a couple of guys that's still playing, but everybody was there. Like, we was at our anniversary little celebration. You know, they had food for us and all that, and I felt somebody walked up to me and grabbed me on the back of my arm, and they were raped. I'm like, man, why you come out of nowhere all the time, bro? Like, you come out of nowhere every time. Like, ain't nobody know where it was gonna show up. He just grabbed me, and I turned around, and my mama was sitting there. She started laughing. I'm like, what you laughing at? I said, man, come out of nowhere every time.
Was he always like that?
Yes. And then he grabbed me and said, my baby. Baby, I'm 38 years old, motherfucker. I'm shit.
You're good. We're
good. I'm like, I'm 38 years old. I ain't no baby. But he grabbed me and said, my baby. I said, man, this man come out of nowhere every time. Every time.
That's the greatest story I've ever heard.
I'm for real. Like, he just walked up and grabbed me on the back of my arm. I turned around and looked. Man, where you come from? You just slid in here.
Okay, all right. I have so many questions about this. Has he always called you his baby? Is that a new thing that he called you that?
No, yeah, he always called me his baby. I'm younger than Ray. I'm way younger than Ray.
Right.
But the craziest story for me is when that sucker said we were playing the Chargers. You know, and Ray Rice got that 4th and 29.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I looked at Ray. I said, "When the last time y'all went to the Super Bowl?" He said, 12 years ago. It was 2012.
Yep.
They won in 2000. I looked at him. I said, and I'm wearing 12. He said, man, we here for a reason.
Oh.
I said, I know. But then he told me, don't worry about that Pro Bowl shit. You ain't getting that. You ain't going. I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, just accept the check. Just accept the check and the jersey. We ain't going to the Pro Bowl.
Yo, that was pathetic. Damn, dude.
It didn't dawn on me.
Okay, wait. Did you believe in that moment when he says that to you? Did you believe him? Did you know in your heart, like, yeah, he's right, or were you like, all right,
yeah,
dude, he's up?
It didn't dawn on me until he was talking about. I'm like, what are you talking about? And it didn't dawn on me until I got on the plane. I was like, shit, we about to win this shit.
Yo. He knew. That dude. Oh, that is amazing, man. All right, Jacoby, I don't know how we can go up from here. I
don't know, me neither, man.
This is killer, bro. All right, let's go back. Let's go back 10 years, right? Actually, you know, let's go back to when you arrived in Baltimore. I remember you telling me when you signed in Baltimore that you had gotten a jugs machine because there was a reputation at the time that, you know, you were not the most solid, that you would drop the occasional ball.
Sure.
How much more meaning? Like, winning the Super Bowl is always going to be meaningful, right? Like, whatever you do is going to be meaningful.
I had locked in, man. I had got my own jug machine, and actually I got two of them. And I had one, like, literally in the morning. I would get up in the morning, go do my weights, and go get on the jugs. I do my deep ball jugs. I was doing my deep ball jugs inside of the bubble. And shout out to the guys that work, the equipment guys, man. They used to take care of me like it ain't nothing. So I looked out for them too. Anytime I got a pair of shoes, they got a pair of shoes.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So they would shoot me deep balls throughout. We're talking like 6 in the morning. All right. And then I go get in the hot tub, cold tub, then meeting hit. I eat 10 pieces of bacon, drink a cherry Coke, and go out through my thing. True story. Real shit.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
Real shit. They used to look at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, because that sounds crazy, bro.
I used to eat 10 pieces of bacon and drink cherry Coke. And look, it wasn't true cherry Coke. I get Coke and get the strawberries that was on the fruit thing, on the berries on the bar, and put it in the Coke. You laughing, but I'm dead serious.
Okay, had you always done that? Was that something you knew from growing up?
I know. That was my routine.
Wow. All right. Okay.
You gotta be a creature of habit, and I do that every day.
It worked. I mean, it worked.
It worked, and like I literally did that every day.
For you to have gone from a dude that had the reputation for not being sure-handed to being a
that guy.
Yeah. How much? Again, because I'm telling you, winning a Super Bowl, if you had just been like the last guy on the roster, it would have meant something to win a Super Bowl.
So first of all, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, I got that reputation about being short-handed. You know who my quarterback was?
Okay. I don't want to trash anybody.
Okay. Me neither. But okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, then I got to the Ravens, and it was like I'm in heaven. I had Smoking Joe. Joe gonna put that shit on. He dislocated my thumb twice in practice.
That's so.
Okay.
Bro, how have I never heard that before?
Man, I don't tell my stories. This son bitch will pop out any day right now, cause he won't fit that sucker in his zone.
Oh my.
He gonna throw it. Joe gonna throw it. And then you had Tyrod Taylor behind him, who gonna zip that shit too. My fingers are crooked right now because of them two.
Wait, is that for real though? Like, are they really like?
No, I see your picture, bro.
Oh my God, man!
My fingers are crooked. Like all of them are just turned.
I'm gonna text you
I don't know
afterwards.
I don't know if it's the jug machine or just trying to catch the ball from there.
Dude, how quickly did you know? Like, how quickly were you around Joe where you were like, okay, this is gonna work out. This dude's got a cannon. I'm the fastest man alive. Like,
no, I'm gonna tell you that we was in practice. This when I just got there. We're in the spring, and we were still doing the number system before we shipped to the word process. And I'm running a route, right? And I'm looking at Torrey like, Torrey, work. So you about to run Torrey's running the wrong route, so I just ran the right route for him.
Okay.
He won't admit it. Torrey's running the wrong fucking route. I'm like, shit. And I took off. I just ran a post, and Joe let it go. And I went and got it. And I got up. When I got up, I turned around and looked. Joe was already down the field right there by me like, yeah. I'm like, oh, shit. We like this. We about to be nasty. Come on, man. Like, we about to be nasty. You had Joe Anquan, Dennis Pitter, Ray Rice in the backfield, Vontae Leach at fullback. I was lying. So, like, what you want to do with us?
Oh my God. I'm gonna pee myself talking to you right now, bro.
I'm serious, bro. Like, who you gonna go? Who you gonna guard?
Man, and that's what it looked like.
Pitter ran routes like a receiver, man. Literally, like he would light you up.
Jacoby Jones.
If you look at the Super Bowl run,
yeah.
One game Torrey had 2 touchdowns. One game Pitter had 2 touchdowns. In the playoffs, one game Anquan had 2 touchdowns. Super Bowl had 2 touchdowns. Think about it. Who you gonna guard? Think about it,
man.
And I was trying to kick and punt. You kick it to me, you fuck.
Facts. Big facts. Yo, it was so much fun. It was so much fun, dude. I mean this seriously. I know this is gonna sound like a dumb thing to say because you were living it, right? But do you know how much fun it was for the rest of us? Like, I know you got the you
I just was playing.
Yeah. You
I just was playing.
You became a massive celebrity around these parts. I mean, I remember doing that event with you and Jameel at Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was a mob scene.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was a mob scene. What was that like for you to live in those moments?
I tell you, the way I was raised, I'm raised by all women. Great grandma and great auntie, my grandfather too. He died when I was in 3rd grade, but like, I was raised by all old school women, and they gave me hell. But one thing they taught me was never stop being yourself, and you treat somebody how you want to be treated, no matter what, because you never know who you meet. You know what I mean? So that's the way I live life.
Dude, Jacoby Jones is with us here on GCO. We're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Ravens running the Super Bowl 47, and this is we've had a lot of good ones. This is my favorite one so far. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, you get all the stories now because I've retired.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can just let it out. I get it. You can let it out. So okay, so let's go back, right? Like for as good as things were, obviously in December they weren't so good, right? Like things didn't look so great when we got to December that year. What happened? How do you explain?
About the year we won it?
Yeah.
The year we won it?
Yeah.
You know, we went through a little spell, and us as players, you know, we hold each other accountable. And you know, we got a lot of leaders on our team. You got Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Drew Flacco,
Anquan,
Spears, Anquan. What's my senior name? Jesus Christ!
Oh, Matt Burke.
Matt Burke. Like we had like leaders on our team like that. Wouldn't let that happen. And even on special teams, we had some. You know what I mean? So and then that when they got to the playoffs and playoffs hit, Ray came out there with his Super Bowl MVP trophy. He said, and guess what he was doing? He was like, I'm not showing you individually. I just want to show y'all what a Super Bowl trophy looks like. And you could have heard a rat piss on cotton. Practice went so smooth. Practice went so smooth. You understand? We faced Luck. We faced Manny. We faced
Brady.
Brady. And then
Cap.
Put them all to sleep. Our defense was flawless and offense was flawless. In special teams, you couldn't tell us nothing because we stayed special.
God, it was so good. Oh, it was such a good run, man. It was such a good run. Okay, so all right, let me go back for a second. What Ray said, bringing that out, because I remember Joe at the podium after the championship game was asked about getting Ray back there. And Joe, who wasn't a very emotional type, he got a little emotional. He said, what's cool about it is how badly Ray wanted this for us. Can you tell me, because what you're telling me there about him bringing the trophy out, I think speaks to a lot of it, because I think a lot of people go back and say, like, you know, you gave Ray's final ride, but the part of it where how badly he wanted you guys to experience that. How much did you feel that?
A lot. I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't even about that day though. Like the day I walked in the locker room, I felt like the type of team we had. Like it was. I don't care what nobody say. Anybody could say like, "Ain't no team like this team. Ain't no team like this team." Our squad, you can't put your finger on it.
Yeah.
We policed ourselves. We showed up to work every day in practice. And we would work on the field. Even though we had our, you know what I'm saying, ups and downs. You know what I mean? Like, that squad right there, with that maturity and the guys that was around. Like, you can look at Corey Graham.
Yeah.
Corey Graham had 2 picks.
Yep, Denver, yeah.
The Denver game. And he was a quote-unquote special team guy. And people don't know, me and Corey Graham trained together in the combine, for the combine.
Wow.
See what I'm saying?
What a
See what I'm
journey.
saying? A journey. How we come back together. How we all end up together again. Kerry Williams. We end up together again.
Man,
it's crazy.
I'm getting chills again talking to you right now, bro. Our
squad was so different. We'll cuss each other out, fight each other, and we show up to press like nothing happened. And they go eat together.
What'd you learn about John through all that, man? Like, we're 12 years. You mentioned we're 12 years later, and
with John, and I told John back at the anniversary. I told John, I said, "You taught me something." I said, "You taught me how to be a player's coach." Yo, one of my players.
That's cool.
Yeah, one of my I told him, I said, "You taught me how to be a player's coach. Like, you listen, you understand us. When you're right, you're right. You're wrong, you're wrong. You let it know." And that's why, like the way I coach like him. I coach like John Harbaugh.
Wow, man. Yeah. Do you ever catch yourself like when you're doing something in a drill or on a practice field? You're like, yo, I know I only did that because.
First of all, I keep my cleats and gloves on, so I show them the drill.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
you know. So.
Okay, we got to talk about you. You you could be doing anything. You don't need to do this, right? Like, you are so successful and so popular. You could go just sign autographs and do stuff like that for the rest of your life. You have taken jobs that weren't the most glamorous jobs in all of football. You're at Alabama State. I don't want to sound like I'm disparaging Alabama State. I want to make that very clear. But, you know, it's like, why is this such a passion for you? Why is it so important to you to be coaching?
I came from an HBCU, a D2 HBCU.
And you got to pay it forward.
I came from an HBCU, a D2, and I want these kids to understand it don't matter where you go, they're gonna find you regardless. You know, we have scouts come here every day. What's the work you put in, you know? But it don't matter where you go. You ain't gotta go to no disrespect to the Power Fives, the Miamis and the Alabamas and the Auburns and the Arkansas, Florida State, whatever. It don't matter where you go. If you show up, they will find you. I'm a third-round draft pick from a D2.
Worked out okay. It worked out okay for you.
And that's why I come back to these kids. I just want to, you know, I came from HBCU, and I look these kids in the eyes and I see myself.
Man. How many of them, like, when you show up to recruit a kid, do they still, like, do they look at you like, holy crap? Like,
They do.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh shit.
You're the guy. Like, you caught the Mahi miracle.
Hey, you know what I say? Yeah, I'm him.
Do you? So when we had Ray Rice on a couple weeks ago, and I asked him how many times he goes back and he watches the 4th and 29, and he was like, "Bro, I ain't gonna lie, I watch it all the time." What about you? Do you either?
You know what's crazy? I catch my players watching my highlights more than anything. Like this, like for real, like this past week, and I don't teach my players to come out the end zone. Like, come on, man, we get it to 25, we good. And last week, week before last, I'm gonna say that because last week just lost. Week before last, I had a kid take a 7-yard punt to the crib. You know what I'm saying? So now he's back, you know, kick return. It's like to come out the end zone. I said, oh shit, this motherfucker been watching me.
It's gotta be. Oh my God.
But look, bro, hear me out. They had an offsides call. So I go to him like, hey man, man, be smart, man. Don't be stupid. Come on now. Guess what happened? He did it again. What the fuck? And I'm getting cussed out in the headset. I'm like, Coach, I told him. I told him, I was like, bro, you gotta start watching my film, bro.
Yeah, how you gonna tell him? How you gonna tell him not to, and he's gonna turn around and say, "Bro, you always did." Like, how you gonna tell me I can't?
Oh, I know. And you know what somebody told me? Who the coach is? I just walked away.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep. You know what? What are you gonna do?
I just walked away, man. I'm like, damn.
Oh my God, man.
I can fix this.
Bro, I don't even know what else there is to say, man. Like, we got to do this more often, man. We got to.
We can make it whatever.
Oh, dude. Do you still, like, do you have an investment still? Like, do you know, I know you're coaching. You got your own games to worry about. Do you get to watch? Like, do you turn on, put the Ravens on at all?
I mean, I get a chance to. Because we be in meetings and stuff most of the time when they be playing.
I get it. With you know, Lamar's okay.
Oh man, if Lamar would have had me and Quine, and Corey, he wouldn't be running nowhere.
Does that bother you at all? That, like, dude, this is gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna say this, right? I was talking about it this week on the show. Justin Jefferson should be in the conversation for league MVP. I don't know why it is that we only allow.
You know where he's from.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course he's from down there. Of course he is. You're all from down there.
Come on.
Yeah, of course he.
Yeah, we different breeds now.
You are, and I'm bro, Jamar Chase, right? Like I'm telling you, That dude is so good, and it's infuriating to me the way that some people just try to devalue wide receivers to say, whatever, we can throw somebody else out there and, we'll be just fine. When we know we have just an ungodly amount of evidence that you're going to be much better when you have better wide receivers to throw the ball to.
All right, you need somebody to throw the ball to.
Yep. It's that
like
simple.
when you got somebody, you can just throw it in the air, and when you're going to go get it, it's a difference.
Hey, bro.
It's a difference.
No doubt. There's no doubt, man. Bro, are you even on, social media at all anymore? Did you get off all that?
No. Well, true story. Hear me out. I don't give a damn if you post this. So I'm getting food, right? And I'm working out this restaurant down here in Montgomery. And this homeless man was hungry, so I gave him my food, but my phone was in the bag. I don't remember my iCloud. When the last time I lost my phone? I'm a grown man. I don't remember my iCloud, so I had to get a whole new Instagram, whole new Twitter, all of that.
All right.
Number's still the same, though.
Okay, so
Number's still the same.
and it's digital_12 on Instagram, right?
No. Now it's digital_12 times 2.
Times 2. Digital.
It's an X2.
Okay, digital_12 X2.
X2. Yep, that's me.
All right, man. Bro, I'm gonna hit you up with a text. I got to see a picture of your fingers. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Jacoby, I don't know what else to say, bro. You know how much you're loved here. You are. Every time you come back this way, everybody around here, you'll never buy a meal. You know how much everybody loves you. I appreciate you so much, man.
I love B-Mo. I can't listen. People are like, where you going? I'm going to B-Mo for chill, man. I go to B-Mo in a heartbeat and just sit there downtown. People are looking at me like, Jacoby? I'm like, yeah, it's me. I'm downtown.
Yo, that you are king here, man. You are king here, Jacoby Jones.
I'm not king, man.
Hey,
I stay in my lane, man.
This was way too much fun. I truly appreciate you, bro. Thank you for taking the time.
I appreciate you. Yes, sir.
Jacoby Jones, that was something. that was a ride, baby. There's nothing quite like the Jacoby Jones experience, man. He had some in the chamber already ready to go.
I know.
He came out hot, man. I love that dude. I have not gotten so I texted him. I said afterwards, I was like, hey, bro, can you send me the picture? And all he sent back was, my man. Never sent the picture. Love the guy. I love the guy so much. That is wild. All right. Appreciate Jacoby taking the time for us as we continue our celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Ravens. No offense to everybody else. It's going to be hard to top that one. Going to be hard to top that. Hey, if you haven't been to Guilford Hall Brewery, you are missing out, man. It is a special place. Guilford Hall Brewery has all sorts of stuff happening during the week. Live music, live trivia, yappy hour, delicious food, the wonderful craft beer selection, including the Guilford Hall Lager. I cannot recommend Guilford Hall Brewery enough. 1611 Guilford Avenue in Station North. GuilfordHall.com is the website. Ray Lewis calls him baby.
Just
I don't
just like unironically.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you even? Because I can hear him. I can hear him saying it, like talking about him like he's one of his. Cause I've heard Ray talk about his kids as my babies. Like he says that all the time. Like he always talks about. We had Rasan on a couple weeks ago. I guarantee. Like if I asked Ray about, be like, oh man, that's my baby, right? Like I know that's how he would say it. It's hilarious thinking about like him doing that to Jacoby. And I get it. Ray was definitely a few years older than Jacoby, but not 20 years older. It's hilarious, the thought that, Jacoby at this point is, 40. And Ray Lewis is coming up to him. He's not actually 40. I think he's right around it, though. He's, what is he? He's 38. Yeah, he's 38. 38-year-old man. My age. I'm a year older. I'm 39. And Ray's coming up to him. My baby. Oh, my God. I love that so much. That is a great story. All right. Very good. We'll come back in. We'll get a tidbit tubular wrap it up.
I believe we used all our breaks.
We did?
Yeah.
Did we take all of our breaks?
We did.
Are you
we
sure?
took because we took one in the first hour, and then
at the top of the hour.
Yeah, at the top of the hour, and then we.
Oh, right, because we added another one. Yeah, because I didn't want to. All right, then we don't have to do that. Well, great news, because it's already 12:20. We probably should be wrapping up anyway. My, oh my, where did the day go? All right, Tidbit is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Whether you focus, no, that's the other read that I did last time. This time, I'm talking about, we're talking about the Toyota Tacoma. The Toyota Tacoma comes in a range of models and trim lines, so you can choose the perfect Tacoma to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today. If I called you my baby, you would probably have to go to HR. Like, you would probably have to be. I don't even know if we have HR.
Yeah,
I might be HR.
Hey,
Glenn, can I talk to you about something? I'm having an awkward experience with one of my coworkers. Yeah, who is it?
His name's Glenn.
Glenn. Yeah. All right, go ahead. What do you got for tidbit?
All right. So Joel Embiid.
And by the way, I want to make it very clear. I don't think that Ray. I think that Ray is doing it in a very. I think it's literally like a fatherly thing for him, because I just know that's how he talks about his kids. So.
Joel Embiid, his last 2 games, he has combined for over 100 points. He had 59 on, I believe, Sunday. Was that there? Yeah, Sunday was their last game. So Sunday and Saturday, he combined in back-to-back games for over 100 points. And that he is only the 5th center in NBA history to have done that. However, it has been done 90 times by 5 different guys. So can you name the 5? Well, Embiid's one of them. Can you name the 5? And then who's the only guy that's done it more than once?
No. Right.
You should be able to name the.
Say it again so I can buy me the time to think.
The 2 most recent. All right, so Embiid, he combined for 100 points in a 2-game span.
Yeah.
Which has been done 90 times. I'm kind of adding in too much, which is probably confusing you.
I actually didn't.
NBA centers.
It's actually I didn't know that it happened that frequently.
Once I explain it, it doesn't happen frequently. Once you figure out who the answers are.
Because it's like Wilt Chamberlain did it correct.
Wilt Chamberlain did it 86 times.
Yeah, that's the.
4 others have done it once.
Yeah, the Wilt Chamberlain thing is so nuts, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Of course, he did it once in a 1-game span.
Yeah.
You know where that game was played, by the way?
No. Where?
It's a building that still stands today, but it is not an NBA building.
On the West Coast?
No.
On the East Coast?
Mm-hmm.
A building that still stands. The Royal Farms Arena.
Still stands today. No, not the Royal Farms Arena, but it's a good guess. It's a good guess. It's gonna. You're just keep guessing.
Jeez, where did he go to school? Not an NBA. It's still standing, but no. What is it? It's still used for.
I want to make sure it's still
stuff?
standing. I just want to make sure it's still standing. Yep, it's still standing.
Where
it still looks exactly the same.
Where do the Carolina Hurricanes play?
They play in Raleigh, North Carolina, but that's a new building.
Okay.
That is a new building that opened.
I don't know. I don't
post 2000.
I don't think I know anything about buildings.
Do you know anything about amusement parks?
Sure. Yeah.
Hershey,
like
the old Hershey Park Arena.
Are you kidding?
Not the Giants Center, the new building they built up there, obviously, where the hockey team plays. The old building where the hockey team used to play.
Like right next to the park?
Yeah, literally right next to the park. That's where Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points. That is a straight shoot.
What?
It set a single game scoring record in the National Basketball Association by scoring 100 points for the Philadelphia Warriors in a 169-147 win over the New York Knicks on March 2nd, 1962 at Hershey Sports Arena in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I did not
every
know
time, so we were up there. We took the kids to Hershey Park over the summer, and I see it, and I think about that. I also went. I wish I could remember what it was. I went to my parents took me to a concert there when I was a kid, and I don't remember. Like it could have been, like a kid performer, like Raffi. You know what I mean? Like I don't remember what the concert was that I went to. It could have been a church performance because they were big into church. That's the only time I ever went to that building. And every time, also, Kobe Bryant won the high school title there when he was at Lower Merion. That's the other kind of famous story about that building. But yeah, Wilt Chamberlain scored.
My middle school band, we had like a competition at Hershey Park every year. So in the award ceremony was in that.
In the old arena.
Yeah, in the old arena. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yes.
That's where Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points.
All right, so
sorry, yes.
Wilt and Embiid are 2 of the 5.
Yep.
You should go get
Shaq.
Not Shaq.
Hakeem.
Not Hakeem. I guess they're going to be kind of surprising. One was in, I'll just give you the years because it's hard. 2016 was one, 1994 was one, and then one was 1975. The two more recent ones I think you should be able to get. 2016, he was with the West Coast team.
Steph Curry.
No, center.
Oh, right, they were centers. That's right. 2016 West Coast team. West Coast team, not a Western team. West Coast team in 2016.
California, to be exact. I'll help you out a little more.
Man, I don't. DeAndre Jordan wouldn't have been scoring that many points.
No, he wouldn't. A guy that would drop 50. That could drop 50. I'm assuming this must have been on one of those nights.
50. Well, yeah, I mean, he would have had to have. Like, you literally can't get to 100 points in 2 games without scoring 50 in one of them. Like, it's absolutely impossible. God damn. I don't know. I don't know.
Let's see. He was most recently with the Nuggets. Didn't really
Nuggets.
play quality minutes, but he was with the Nuggets last year.
Who was
Pelicans?
Hang on
before
a second. Let me think about who was with the Nuggets last year because I did watch.
He was. I'll give you the team. He was a king, most notably. A Sacramento King.
Boogie Cousins.
Did it in 2016, 100 points combined in back-to-back games. Then in 1994, this center,
David Robinson.
David Robinson, and then the last one, 1975. I don't even know who he is.
You don't know who he is?
I don't know who he is.
Okay, that's not a great sign. 1975. How about, and it was a center.
Yes.
So if you don't, it's probably not Kareem because you would probably know who he was.
I wouldn't know who he is. He played for the Buffalo Braves.
Oh, if you had said the Buffalo Braves. Was Bob McAdoo a center?
It was Bob McAdoo.
I think he was a center. All right.
Bob McAdoo.
All right.
Was apparently a center for the Buffalo Braves.
I
did that in 1975.
Right. Very good. Very good. You learned something today, too.
Yeah.
How about that?
That was a
Every
good
time. One of the most remarkable moments in the history of the sport of basketball occurred at Hershey Park.
That's awesome.
I love Hershey Park, so
too.
I am a fan. We might take the kids there for Christmas, by the way. We might do that. All right.
Chili.
What's that?
Chili.
Yeah, but we took them to Six Flags last year, and they had the time they left. Because then there's
Is that your thing? Is that your thing? You like doing like a music?
No, we do it. We call it a Christmas adventure every year. We take a day. I take like a Saturday before Christmas that I have off of work, and we just go do Christmassy things all day long. And we've gone down to D.C. because they do like the ballpark in D.C. They convert it into this giant Christmas maze. It's really incredible. They're doing it again this year. So we've done that a couple times, and that's the problem with going to Hershey Park is we wouldn't be able to do both those things in the same day. So in order to do it last year, instead we went to Six Flags because it was right down the street, and it worked out well. And like the amusement parks only have a few rides open, but like the kids aren't into the crazy roller coasters yet, so there's no line for them to get on the rides that they like riding. So it kind of works out. Like it's cold. Yes, it's cold, but other than that, like it's kind of perfect for them. So we're debating.
It's good. I like that.
They really loved Hershey Park, and so now they're hammering about Hershey Park. We'll see. All right, Tubular is brought to you by the all-new Ginsu Kamado Grill. GinsuGrills.com is the website. Use the code TAILGATE. You will save $100 on your order of a Ginsu Kamado Grill, the perfect ceramic home grill, or tailgate for grilling, smoking, baking, searing, all kinds of food. Plus, stop by the Game Day Firehouse. And speaking of cold, it's going to be cold on Sunday. Stop by, warm up by sampling some cooking from the Ginsu Kamado Grill at the Game Day Firehouse, the Firefighters Union Hall, 1202 Ridgely Street, just west of the stadium. Stop by. You can also register to win your own Ginsu Kamado Grill and $500 worth of grilling meats. All right, here's what's coming up. Not a lot. Maryland women are playing right now on Big Ten Network Plus against Davidson. Tonight, a couple of decent games. Michigan Pitt in the Legends Classic at 6 on ESPNU. Iowa Seton Hall at 7:30 on Fox Sports 1. A couple of decent college basketball games. Gonzaga, Texas at 9:30 on ESPN2. That's a pretty good one. As far as MACtion is concerned, ESPN2 for Eastern Michigan, Kent State at 6. CBS Sports Network, Miami, Ohio, Northern Illinois at 7. Western Michigan, Central Michigan at 8 on ESPNU. Yeah, throw out all the records when the directional
Western
Michigans get together.
Directional Michigans.
NBC Sports Washington Thunder Wizards at 7. ESPN's got Celtics Hawks at 7:30. Good one. Warriors Suns. I mean, the Warriors aren't off to a great start, but they're still the Warriors. I mean, for God's sakes. That's tonight at 10. TNT Blues Blackhawks at 7:30. Kings Oilers at 10. Tennis Channel continued coverage of the ATP Tour Finals. MLB Network, the Cy Young Award announcements tonight at 6 o'clock. See if Aaron was right about his Sandy Alcantara bet from back in April. And TBS for AEW Dynamite at 8. Some non-sports highlights?
Yeah, a couple. Documentary Now, Season 4 finale with Fred Armisen and
I just
Bill
never
Hader.
spent any time with it.
Yeah, when it first came out, I watched it a little bit. It's always funny, I think. But yeah,
I probably enjoy it, but I haven't.
Hard Knocks in season with the Arizona Cardinals, week 2 of that. Penultimate episode of Andor, which has apparently been very, very good. I'm way behind, but I'm
about to finally finish Wrexham, so I think, God forbid, the Falwell thing will be next on my list. And then
that was pretty good. I liked it.
And then, you watched it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, I think I'm gonna do She-Hulk because I never did that. So I think that's the list for me right now. And then after She-Hulk, I'll be willing to take recommendations again.
Gotcha. Also on Disney Plus, Limitless with Chris Hemsworth. We talked about that already.
Yeah.
The Santa Clauses, the series, is also on Disney Plus. So Tim Allen, it's his 65th birthday, and he's trying to find a replacement Santa.
I'll pass. Thanks, but no thanks.
They've been doing all the previews with Peyton Manning, where he pretends that Peyton Manning
I'm good.
trying to be Santa.
Thank you. No thank you.
And then The Wonder on Netflix, this movie about an Irish girl from the 1800s who just stops eating, but she's fine. So they send in Florence Pugh to try and figure out what's going on. And
Weird.
She can't figure it out either.
Weird. Okay.
The Wonder.
I'll probably pass on that one. All right, thanks today to Jacoby Jones. Thanks also to Tim O'Donohue from Navy, and we'll get that in the Tyus Bowser Show up in the greatest hits section of the tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Don't forget to go to PressBoxOnline.com/offers. We got you great hookups for online sports betting, sign-up offers, bonuses up to $300 right now, as well as other incentives at PressBoxOnline.com/offers. Tomorrow on the program, anything? We got
Stuff and things.
Oh,
stuff
boy.
and things. Stuff and things are working.
Oh, boy. Are we doing a side bet this week, or do we ever?
I mean, we can. We don't. I guess
I don't have anything.
What,
I don't remember. I feel like there was something else that Nick sent us the last time. Oh, we did the candle thing. That didn't do all that
What
much.
was the candle? Oh, the banana.
Yeah,
mayo.
it didn't do all that. I mean, it does sound gross, though. I mean, maybe.
Do
But
we need a week off?
KZ can't do it next week. Maybe we'll take a week off. Maybe we'll take a week off. Of
I guess
side
it'd be.
bets.
Yeah.
It does add a nice little kick to the, like the fear on Sunday. There's something to be said for that. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Baltimore County Police Department, Glory Days Grill, Royal Farms, Costas Inn, the Baltimore area Chick-fil-A restaurants, Grade 8's Memorabilia, Guilford Hall Brewery, the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, Maryland Vascular Specialist, the all-new Ginsu Kamado Grill, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us at Glenn Clark Radio, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Have a great Wednesday evening. I guess go nobody because the Maryland women are playing now. I hope they win. Duke sucks. Ohio State sucks too.